I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rockin' Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezie. What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to this thing that we call the Knicks at Night podcast. What's good, party people? Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly. Right. Okay. I see y'all out there. What's up to my peoples? What's good? Mega NYK's in the building. Corey Lee, Adam, what's happening? Wiz, what's good? Man. Yo, this is pure calamity, bro. I looked at the clock at like 10:45. I was like, yo, I'm going to just take me like a quick 30-minute nap and then jump on and do the Knicks at Night podcast. And then before you know it, I'm like, oh man, what time is it? About 11:30? Nah, B, it's 2:00. So I'm running in here like, yo, I forgot about my people. You know what I'm saying? So here we are. And those of y'all watching in the future, y'all are gonna laugh. y'all are probably gonna laugh at this, right? But for those of y'all watching live, y'all feel my pain. For those of y'all watching this on replay, y'all gonna be like, man, what's my man talking about? But y'all up with me rocking right now. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. So salute to all my people, man. It's a lot of stuff to kind of talk about, man. I know we've been talking about a lot of stuff over the past couple of days. We got a game against Miami tonight. I'm excited about that and the possibilities of where this thing can go. Man, so I quickly threw the link out there in the chat for those that kind of want to get on and rock. You know what I'm saying? Let me get my thought together. One of the first things I want to, here's my man. My man is in the building. Jay Boogie says, I can't even work in the studio. Without my man going and going live all the time. Jay Boogie, I see you. Let me bring my guy in here just real quick, man. Let me bring my guy in here real quick. Hold on. Let me see. I got these things out of order. If I had them in order, it would probably be better. That way I can find them. Let me put these things. Let me put these things in order and bring in my guy. Lee, what's good, boss?
My man? Nothing, man. You got me feeling like Jack Spade out here.
Oh boy.
Every good time finding theme music.
Yeah, man. Jack Spade in building. Yeah, man.
What's good, John?
Man, chilling.
Oh man. Good night, good morning, good day. What's good? I knew you want to go rock this morning.
Nah, man. I'm rocking, bro. I messed around and dozed off, bro. I didn't mean to, man. I messed around and
I did.
Man, I messed around and dozed off, bro. That was it.
Down goes Freezie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. J Boogie says, "Where's Cully at?" Cully been popping up, man, but I ain't seen. I ain't seen Cully and J Boogie. I'll hit you up though. I'll hit you up about Cully, man. So, yeah, man. Man, I have an ill vibe going on.
All right.
And for those of y'all that know what an ill vibe is, man, it's like one of those feelings where things are one way, but they shouldn't be. They should be the other way. You feel me? Like things should be one way, but they twisted and they the other way. Yo, Daniel Barry's in the building. What's good, boss? Seeing DB everywhere. I see DB. I see you everywhere, bro. I see you out here. Yeah, man. I'm trying to figure out why Knicks fans want to tear everything down. Dre is in the building. What's up, Dre? I see you, man. I'm trying to figure out why some Knicks fans want to tear it down, bro.
Because that's all they know. They don't know what good sustaining winning is.
Yeah.
This is new territory for a lot of these young Knicks fans.
Yeah.
Keep it 100. And also, too, a lot of these people are hurt because we expected more. You know, we didn't expect to run into this battle grizzled team as we see it. We expected something totally different. You know, they expected them to bow and for us to just step over them like we thought they should have. But, you know, what can I say? You know, we're wrong. And that's just what it is. And we got to live with that. You know, to expect something is one thing. To actually see it not happening and you not meeting your expectations is another. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to live with the disappointment of the fact that we're not ready.
Right. Yeah, so man.
I had a long talk about that this morning with Greenie.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we were on the phone for about an hour. We chopped it up.
Hey, Greenie is my guy, man. That's my guy right there. Greenie is like 6'6", bro.
Oh, I know. I know.
When he told me he was 6'5", I was like, yeah. That's what everybody say. Everybody on the internet is 5 inches taller than they are in real life.
No.
And then I saw Greenie. Greenie saw me. I was like, okay. Shout out to the people that shop at the Big and Tall store. I saw Greeny. I was like, okay. Yeah, man. Underground Scoop is thinking exactly what I'm thinking. Knicks in 7. That's what I'm thinking right there, man. I can't, boss. I can't go out like that, bro. I can't. I know. I can't lay down, bro. I just can't. Let me bring in my guy real quick. Hold on for just a split second. Okay. Lee, you know what it is. You know how people be backstage. You know, you have to introduce them like it's the Johnny Carson show. You gotta introduce them, play their intro, and you know what I'm saying.
I know. I'm not the only one feeling like Jack Spade in a minute.
Here it is. Here we go.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you.
Yo, Wes.
Yo, should I be fly to New York for Sunday afternoon celebration outside the garden?
Hey man, you know what it is. You know what it is.
Sunday
celebration. Yes, that's gonna be wild, bro. A Sunday celebration. Yeah, man,
that's what we need.
Crazy.
Let's do this.
That's what we need.
Wiz, that's you on the picture?
Yes, sir. A little one arm pull up with the biceps back in the day.
Yeah, man.
Was I corporal back then?
Okay,
okay.
That's right, son. That's right. 32-inch waist, Freezie. 32-inch.
Yeah.
Remember those days?
Yes, I do remember.
That was 8th grade for you, though, Freezie. You stop playing. I said that was 8th grade for you.
Not for me. Nah, man. I didn't become.
I know. I'm playing.
No. For real. I didn't become a beef eater until I got married and realized that you come home every day to a meal.
What?
Yo. I was like, wait a minute, baby. We eating pork chops and mac and cheese for dinner. Yeah, man. That's what I started putting on them extra. Them extra
with the extra gravy over the rice.
Yeah, man. Some of that tomato. Oh, look at. Hey, hold on. BT, what's good, man? Let me bring my guy in real quick.
Go ahead.
Yo.
What's up?
Oh my God.
Good morning.
Yeah, man. Yo, again, man, I apologize for being so late, man. I messed around and dozed off, bro. Next thing you know, I'm like, man, what the hell going on?
It's all never better, man.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to get here. I was trying to get here like 11:30 so I can get off like 2 because I know today is gonna be crazy. And then I was like, why do I keep hearing King Kai and Rel? I kept hearing King Kyrell. You know how you have YouTube playing, right? So I'm watching the videos and stuff from this morning and all that. Like, why do I keep hearing King Kyrell? I jump up, it's King Kyrell. I'm like, oh snap, I done overslept. And man, I looked at the clock. I'm like, oh God, dog it. But I'm a rock anyway.
Hey, it's called old timers.
You feel me? Yeah,
I did the same thing. I woke up. I was like, "Oh, I'm about to miss this show. I gotta talk to Uncle Freezie."
Yeah, man. I got what it is Wiz, this will make you laugh. Just real quick before I get into the Knicks talk, right? So I call myself being just about able to start back exercising a little bit.
Right.
And so man, I messed around. I have this setup in my house, like set up from everything else, where it's just a empty room, and it's a place where I just go think, man. Just walk to the other end of the house. All they got is like an aquarium in it. And it's the old setup. Yeah, I remember how you used to have the aquarium in the background on the old setup.
I remember. Yeah.
So
exactly.
I go, going in. Start like, I'm gonna just start back doing push-ups, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll start back doing the little girl push-ups first. and then, by the time summer get here, I'll be doing like 200 or 300 push-ups a day. Because I started when I first started Vibes and stuff with Chuck. Yo, Cully, J Boogie looking for you. There he is, Cully in the chat. The GOAT. What's good?
What's good?
Yeah, but yeah, so I started back trying to do push-ups, bro, and I couldn't really get them. I'm like, I could do. Now mind you, I ain't worked out since October. Right. And so I'm like, man, what the hell is going on in here? I'm like, Wiz, I'm like, why is the floor so far away? You know what I'm saying? When we doing push-ups, you know how you get in the front lean and rest, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, the floor way down there. Man.
Real quick, could I give you a hint? Real quick, 2 things to help you out when you're working out. 1, start off with swimming to get your arm and your body back and flowing for about a week. Do swimming like 3 or 4 days. Then start lifting weight. That way your muscles get used to you movement and everything. You don't get injured. And 2, when you do push-ups, elevate your feet to like a level position and start doing push-ups like military. That way, when you build up your arm strength, you're gonna be killing it. It only takes you.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
The swimming is what I was gonna incorporate anyway, right? I got to get back to swimming because big dudes, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yup.
Running ain't gonna be the move.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, Uncle Freezie, I'm an ex-military guy. I went to the military. I weighed 180. I got out the military. I weighed 325. In 3 years, I went back down to 180, and all I did was swim, handball, and play basketball, light sports, and I mixed it up. I didn't lift no weights or nothing. I just stayed with the cardio, and I lifted weights as I did the cardio. So I'm now 185.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to get the. I won't get to 185, but because at my height, or whatever, I want to settle in to that 235 range.
I was about to say 240. 240 for me is about fighting weight. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to settle into that, not because I feel like it's the absolute healthiest, but I like the way I look in clothes at that.
And you're comfortable. Yeah. You got that solid look, not that jelly roll look. You know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I'm gonna get down to. But the thing about it is, I put on a few lbs because I've been injured since October, so I ain't been able to walk around or do none of that. So, but we'll get there.
Do the swimming, man. You will feel so much better. Your body, you'll be lifting like, yo, my body ain't tense or nothing because of that. Like, I'm telling you, water helps recuperate a lot of people's body. And I keep telling them, before you lift weights, spend a weekend just swimming. Get your body movement and everything. But you good?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna get there. I'm a swimmer anyway. I love swimming, bro.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? People made fun of me. They're like, you from New York, and you supposed, you know the whole stereotype. They're like, you from New York. You know, New Yorkers do not know how to swim. You guys are garbage and this and that. They forget in the Bronx back in the day, they had a YMCA by my house right across the street. like a few blocks, and it was free. So for the first like 7 years, they had that YMCA. My mom was like, "You gonna learn how to swim?" I went into swim call. I swam them out the water. They were like,
Wow.
we can't qualify you because you're swimming professionally. We need you to sing militarily. And I was like, what's the difference?
Wow.
I'm surviving.
Wow. Wow. The funny thing about that is I used to spend summers in the Bronx, and I can't remember what part, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you because I was, a teenager. I mean, not a teenager, but a shorty spending summers in the Bronx with my grandfather. He used to drive the bus for the city. You know what I'm saying? And so he did that for like 300,000 years. And so we used to be over there during the summertime. We used to spend like 3 weeks, a month, or whatever it is. I can't remember. You know how it is. They'll be like, man, you get out of school on such and such date, and you're gonna come back July 15th. So we'll come back on the, whatever that second week of July was. He'll drive us back home or whatever, and then we be back. You know what I'm saying? Jersey City, running around in Jersey City or whatever. But
you from
yeah,
Jersey?
man.
You went to Jersey City?
Yeah, I'm from Jersey City.
Oh, because I was about to say I'm from the Bronx, but then I went to Teaneck High. So like real quick, you been in music, right?
No, I'm not a musician.
Oh, no, I was talking about like jazz and all of that because I was gonna say like if you like that old school records with like some Yachty, like my grandfather, his name is Pops. They call him Pops Records. He's a collector. Look him up. That's my grandfather. He has like over 3,000 records.
Oh wow, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, he's one of them old school collectors. Like, and he'll even let you walk by I'll talk to him if you want to talk to him. We'll talk off the scenes, and if you want to swing by the house, I'll go there and show you the records.
Okay,
That's why I like him because it's that old school Bronx that most people don't remember, like the block parties and the DJs. Like he's one of the last few dudes that had it. So we used to have block parties and everything. I miss that.
Yeah, that's fire. I'm writing a book about that right now.
Oh well, if that's the case, then like I said, I could have you talk to him. He got stories from when what was it? He has a 1900 his great grandmother on tape talking about the history from back in the day. So
living encyclopedia
how she translated from Jamaica to America, how it was back with the slaves and everything. So you want to write a book, man? I'm a writer too. So let me know.
Yeah, man.
I'll give you the information.
I already got some. I already have some
go
stuff,
ahead.
man. So I'm gonna check you out on that and real quick too, man. I'm at the end of this summer. I'm thinking about writing a books about the Knicks experience.
Oh man, yo, I'm gonna tell you this.
You know how be telling all these stories and stuff. Cats to be like, yo, I didn't know that Willis retired early after he came out the tunnel. Yeah,
what
that happened. He actually he risked his career for that Knicks championship.
And that's why we love him.
He wasn't never the same after that. He had to retire early, but Knicks fans don't talk about that. All they talk about is Willis Reed out the tunnel. They don't talk about the repercussions.
Or Clyde, how fly he always dressed.
Yeah.
Like people only remember Clyde because he's the announcer. I know what you mean because I had to grow up in that era. My family was like, I couldn't even cheer for Jordan. Like when he dropped his 55, I had to sit there quiet. Like my family's like, you do not cheer for no one but a Knick. A Knicks score, that's when we hear your mouth. Like that's the type of Knicks family I was in. So I know what you mean.
Yeah, man. So we got so we got some. Yeah.
Yes.
I told you, I'm different. I told you, I have a very unique childhood that most people can only understand in stories, and the reason why is because my family's a Knicks fans. Thank you.
That's it in a nutshell.
Oh yeah.
In a nutshell. But listen, man, how y'all feeling about Miami, man? I know a lot of people giving up on the season so far.
You still got one more game, sir.
Season, man.
Real quick.
I think we're gonna win the game. My fault. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like we're gonna win the game. I don't know anything after this particular game, but I feel like we're gonna win this particular game. And when we go to Miami, the refs get weird, role players start turning up. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
As far as that's concerned, but I feel like we're gonna win this game.
Yeah, man.
I feel the same way, man. One game at a time. I'm just looking at this one game and be like, can we pull out all we got right now? One game, just one game at the Garden in the Mecca.
Right.
Don't let it happen on our floor, man.
Right.
So I'm getting optimistic, man. And I know if we can do this one game, then anything's possible after that. Because that's when the really starts to go off.
Right. I'm feeling like this shouldn't be the only thing that motivates us, right? Not you know what I'm saying? Not losing on your own floor. You know what I'm saying? Should not be the thing that motivates us, right? Oh, I got the Willis Reed thing wrong. So that was in 1970. He played a couple more years, but the gist of what I'm saying is Willis Reed wasn't the same after that injury. So Willis Reed played he played a few more seasons after that, but he wasn't the same after that injury.
That's kind of like Isaiah Thomas with the Celtics,
or Isaiah Thomas with the Pistons.
Or
no, not that one. He talking about the one.
Or when Johan Santana basically blew his arm out trying to get
that perfect game.
Yeah.
Man.
After he did that, he was done. Yeah, after that, he was done. He tried, but it was done.
Yep. Played a little bit longer, but still couldn't quite get back to that level. Man.
Or Lawrence Taylor after he tore his Achilles.
A lot of great players they try to come back because they don't want to let the injury define the end of their career.
Jason Sehorn.
Right. But Isaiah though was he left all that money on the table, man. He
didn't leave it. They didn't offer him.
No, they did. They offered it to him 2
did.
weeks before, but he turned it down because he was having a good season. And then like a day
They
before they
lowballed
would have
him,
given him the new offer, he got injured. Like literally that day they would have given him that offer, but he got injured right there, and then that was it. But I hate to say it, he was smart because that's what most people would have done. They weren't going to give you what you were worth. They were going to pay you a little bit more. So what he did was, hey, I'm going to keep playing and try to get this money, and got hurt right before he got the payday.
He should have did the Jeremy Lin thing. That's what he should have did.
But then he probably would have never been as known because think about it.
He averaged 30 for the season, by the way. Or like 28, 29, something like that. If he was smart, he wouldn't play with hips, but he wanted to be out there for his teammates. And I believe his sister had passed.
His sister,
exactly.
Yeah, she died in a car crash.
So it was like multiple things at play that put him out on the floor when he shouldn't have been.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Freezer, what else should we be playing for other than the pride of not losing on the floor on the Garden floor?
It's the ultimate. It's the ultimate brass tacks scenario. Is competitiveness. Right. Like to give you an example, when I was about to retire, right, I wanted to box one more time, but I couldn't get my weight up to 200 pounds. Right. And this sounds crazy, right? But no matter what I did, I couldn't work out and keep a certain weight. You feel what you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly.
When you work, it's like when you work out, you just can't keep a certain weight, right? So I worked out, and I talked to the guy that was the dude that owned Green Street Grocery. He had a boxing tournament. Everybody knew it. The Green Street Grocery Boxing Championship it was like 6 different weight classes, right? And all he had was a old empty warehouse, right? And what he did, he had boxing ring set up in there, a place where people can train, and then on the opposite side of it, he had it super clean, and you can go in there and buy groceries and food, right? So it's like a boxing ring set up in this small adjacent area, and then you walk through these double doors, and it's like a grocery area set up where you can go buy your meat and all of that stuff and food and whatever. And he used to sell dinners and all of that stuff out of there. And so he had a championship set up in there, and we used to brag, the Green Street Grocery Champ. And I was a 2-time super heavy champ in there. I was boxing at about 206. I was a proud Wiz. Listen, when I say I was a proud 206, bro, I felt like I was about 280. I walked in the gym at 206. They like, him? He a super heavyweight?
That was nephew Freezie.
Yeah. But the thing about it is it's like everybody. It's like a lot of other people's story. Man, I was a young man. I was broke, trying to find my way, and I actually needed the money because back then, it'd always be like my check once a week would be like $137, and then the light bill would come in, and the light bill would be like $153. You know what I'm saying? And then they can't wait till the next week. The light bill due on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you're like, dang, man, I can't even piece 2 checks together because they're gonna turn my lights off on Tuesday. And everybody back then was getting paid on Friday. It was no direct deposit Thursday night at midnight. None of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get your check. The dude had a cart that brought the checks around at work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody at lunchtime, everybody went to the bank and cashed their check, right? So I go in, and the dudes that was in super heavy, it was like the classes went up. It was like an extra $50 per weight class because that's what people wanted to see. Right. People didn't want to see the little guys, the little teeny guys. Little teeny guys, I think they got like $400 for their championship. But the heavy guys got like $800. You know what I'm saying? So instead of me trying to get $750, I wanted that $800 because $50 was enough, bro. $50 I could Wiz Lee, listen, man. $50 I could $50. Check this, $50 I could have filled up my car with gas.
Yes.
I could have took my girl to the movies. Yes. I could have bought her dinner, and we could have got something to eat and came home with the extra $50. $50 to some people now ain't nothing, but back then $50 was everything.
Yeah.
Right. And so I mess around. I'm trying. I can't get my weight up, and I'm so hey, bro. When you talk about eating, I was eating the worst stuff. I was eating honey buns, drinking Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get my weight up, but then every time I would get, as a martial artist, as a pugilist.
What age? Like what age would you say you were around?
Man, I was like 25. I was like maybe 20, maybe 20. I had been out of the military so I was like 25. So I had been out of the military for like 3 years, maybe. So I was maybe 26, maybe. And so I'm trying to get my weight up, whatever. And this is I had just found mocha, and I was messing around with you know how it is when you're a young person.
Hey, you're a bachelor.
Yeah. So I mess around. I'm the 2-time Green Street champ. The year before that, I had used money from the military and some stuff, and I bought me a raggedy piece of car. Right. The year after that, I'll never forget. I got drunk, blew all the money. I blew like all $700 in one night partying with my boys. I woke up the next day, I had like $37, and I was like, no. You know what I'm saying? You know how you look at your debit card receipt or whatever. You're like, oh no, I didn't spend that much money on it. When I had $37 to last me until payday, bro. Right. And so but anyways, I go in, and this dude, he had just turned the dude I'm fighting, he had just turned 50, and I was like 26. And he was like, and he had habits. Like Uncle Freezie, this ain't nothing personal, but You know I need this money. He had habits that he had to pay for. I ain't gonna get into all of that stuff. That's his business. But me, like how the Knicks are right now, down 3-1, and you know what I'm saying. I didn't think about losing because I had been a 2-time Green Street champion. I wanted to win, and this is to your question, Wiz. This is why I'm telling the story.
Right.
The reason why I want the money was important, the titles were important, but I want to win because it's me versus them.
Right.
At the end of the day, it all came down to me versus that guy. And that's why I'm saying the Knicks, you down 3-1 on your own floor, and it's an MSG, and if things go sideways, people gonna boo and walk out the stadium and all of that stuff. But in that moment right there where it was me versus him, that was my B Rabbit moment. Y'all remember that movie 8 Mile, where it was B Rabbit versus Free World?
Yep, I remember.
That was my moment, like me versus him. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying to the Knicks is yo, you don't need no excuses in this moment. You don't need motivation. At the end of the day, it's one team versus another. And when you realize that winning, regardless who the opponent is the most important thing, that's when you take that championship step. Like when it's more important for you to beat whoever than the circumstance, then you'll start to win. Then you'll start to do the extra stuff that it take to win. But I got Adam back here. Let me bring in Adam real quick. Adam always show up late so I can play his intro. Bim. What's good, Adam?
Yo, what's good, everyone?
Hey, what you
in the
doing up
panel,
3
in the
o'clock in the
chat?
morning? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. What you doing awake?
I was saying the same thing about you when I saw you was coming on.
Man, I overslept, bro.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, man, I overslept, man. But I wanted to get on. I think it was important for me to rock with y'all, and turn the microphones on so we can all get a chance to put some stuff on wax before tonight. Because today is gonna be a day. It's either gonna be a turning point in Knicks history or it's gonna be a summer of crying and belly aching, right? And what I want to do is at least provide us a platform where it's not so busy, where we can get out here and get on wax about how we feel. So I started the joint off by saying, man, listen, I don't really care nothing about winning Game 5 in the Garden, protecting home court. All I care about is winning. Period. I don't care how we do it. I don't care where we do it. I don't care what the outcome look like. Oh, how things look, man. My only concern is that we win. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, if you're a competitor, everything comes down to winning or losing. And not winning in style or losing, getting sympathy, none of that. It's just, will you do what it takes to win? Dre, you think this team have enough guts or that stuff, that intestinal fortitude to win?
The from every scenario that the Knicks have been put in thus far, when they've had their backs against the wall,
Right.
and things have gone left, they've come out swinging. So I don't expect anything less. I really don't. I feel like we're gonna have our best performance of the entire series, at least tomorrow.
Yeah,
Overall, top to bottom. You know,
yeah,
we're not gonna mail it in tomorrow or today, later today.
today.
I guess.
Yeah,
Like I'm pretty confident in how I expect us to come out, and
yeah,
it's not even gonna be an X's and O's thing or anything like that. We're just gonna play with a force.
right, right. I BT, this season has been so
Yeah.
strange, bro. This season has been so strange. We go from having zero expectations. As a matter of fact, I think we came into the season wounded as a fan base. I think we came into the season wounded, looking for positive vibes. And
Facts.
the reason why I say that we come into the season wounded, looking for positive vibes, is because of the obvious. We didn't get Donovan Mitchell, so the fan base was split.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then as the season started, when the season started in Memphis, there were like glimmers of hope abound. Because that first game of the season in Memphis, when we saw Cam Reddish go for 27,
Yeah.
you was like, holy crap. Yo, screw Donovan Mitchell, bro. We got Cam Reddish.
Yeah. And how that turned out.
Yeah, that didn't turn out so good.
But the way I've been hearing it on, like, as I've been talking to friends and on other podcasts as well, is the wagons are circling. Nobody believes that we can actually win a game. And I
Right.
keep telling everybody it's one game at a time, line to line. It's sad. It's like I already had a guy who loved Julius Randle all season, but now all of a sudden he wants to go and turn on to the Heat if the Knicks lose. So for me, it's like if it's gonna be like that already, even though no one expected us in the playoffs, no one expected us to actually win our first round. It's like for me, I don't know where all of this is coming from. What we need to do is just sit down and refocus. And some people said some smart things. Like I heard them saying, if we're gonna blow it up, trade Randall, try to get Levine and Reed, or try to pick up Torrey Craig and Nazir Reed, and like add to the team. Like I even said, Hubert Jones. Like a lot of people are already talking about let's move on. And I'm like, wait a minute, this team proved something to us. Let's see what they have. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's been a while since we've had that New York grit, that fight. And what better than to win the next game and at least push these guys who won in 5 games against against the number one team by actually pushing them to game 6, showing them,
Right.
yo, we took an L, but at least we gonna do better than the best team in the league. You feel me?
Right. Right. Hey, so Cam Reddish didn't score 27. He scored 22. But I will tell you this though about that moment. RJ Barrett had a stinker of a game. Yeah, I remember that. RJ Barrett starts the season off slow. He always does, right? But coming out of Lee, tell me if you remember this or not. The Knicks are down by 3, right? With like no time left on the clock. RJ, who had gone like 3, 4, 15 up to that point, is walking towards Tibbs. Like Tibbs is going to draw up the play for him, right? And he shuns RJ and puts his arm around Cam Reddish. Y'all remember that moment?
Mm-hmm.
Cam Reddish had like 17 to 18 points at that moment. And Tibbs puts his arm around Cam and said, hey, and basically said, hey man, I'm drawing up this play for you. And they come out of the timeout, they do the blase blah, and they run the Reggie Bullock play where Cam Reddish is open. Yeah, and Cam Reddish is open in the corner for 3. Cam Reddish get it and knocks down the 3. And a bunch of us Knicks fans, me included, was like, yo, we don't need Spider. We got Cam Reddish. You know what I'm saying?
It was kind of bad out there. It was there was a Cam against RJ thing. Oh,
yeah,
Cam is better than RJ. Why did we pay RJ all this money for?
Why did we pay RJ this bread and Cam Reddish gonna average 25 a game? Yo, it was crazy, bro. It was how the season started, how it went, and I'm talking as if the season's over. It's not over. What I'm saying is how we went from that to where we are today has been bananas, right?
Nah,
Yeah,
I
man.
I just feel that, like I said, it's we've been Knicks fans, and if you've been watching how we were earlier in the '90s, and then seeing how we were in 2000, and then seeing how we are now, to me, it's just all it's a political wave. Like everyone's just riding the waves to create drama. Nobody's really a diehard Knicks fan. Like for example, not you, Frizzy, but I'm saying the ones I talk to now. They're so wishy washy that it's like everybody just wants to cut bait, and I'm like, we need to find our true core like we did back in those days. That's all I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
I
man.
really feel we can do this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And yo, I ain't even gonna lie. I respect other teams, right? And well, no, let me rephrase that. I respect every other team except maybe Boston. I have zero respect for them.
Agreed.
Right. That's just me. I respect, but and then fans will come in and they hang out with us, of other fans of other teams to come out and hang out with us in our chats. Quite frankly, because they teams are whack, and they come in, they hang out with real NBA fans here. These Knicks fans, they know who they are, bro. Like it's fans of other teams all across the internet. They already know what it is. The Pistons fans, they DM me all the time. When we get Victor, yeah, bro. But right now, y'all trash. Just come hang out in the chat. But anyway. Let me stop throwing shade. But
Hey,
anyway, our season has been such a roller coaster, an up and down thing. Whether we win tonight or Sunday, take it all the way to Sunday and beat the Heat. This season right here is one for us to remember for a long time, because for one, we had no idea that Jalen Brunson was going to be this good, right?
Nope.
Two, we had no idea during the course of the season that we were going to get guys to step up and have major career moments, like Quickly against the Celtics. We had no idea Quickly was capable of that, right? Quickly at times in that Celtics game looked like the best player on the floor. And I'm talking about with Jalen Brown, with Jason Tatum, with Julius Randle, with RJ Barrett. Emmanuel Quickly looked like the best player in that game. Like he legit controlled the game, right? Boston was on the other side trying to figure out a way to stop Emmanuel Quickly, which none of us would have ever imagined a scenario like that. And I'm a Quickly fan. Y'all know I love Quick. You know what I'm saying? I love Quick, bro. But this season has been one that was, man, we can't even trade up. We can't even give away enough stuff to get Jaden Ivey. This is back last June. We don't even have enough. We went from we don't have enough assets to trade for Jaden Ivey to we in the Western Conference Final. I mean the Eastern Conference Finals, and we look like we deserve to be there. You feel me?
Mhm.
And so let me and I wanted to ask y'all, like, coming into the season, what was your expectation? Like, not made necessarily win total, even though we could use that as a measure, but what did you expect from this team?
I kind of when I first came into the season, I was expecting anywhere from a 6 to an 8 seed,
Okay.
6 on the high end
Right.
in my mind, because we won what 37 games last year,
Yeah.
I believe,
Yeah.
and I just assumed Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brunson's. I didn't think he would be this good. I'd be lying if I did say that. I assumed his stability, because that's all we ultimately needed.
Right.
His stability at the guard position would help us push us to 42 to 43 wins.
Right.
I wasn't anticipating the Josh Hart move doing what it did. That also bumped up a lot of expectations.
Right.
And to be absolutely honest, we're we superseded all expectations that anyone may have had, even the most optimistic Knicks fans.
Right.
Optimistic yet realistic Knicks fans.
Right. Right. So what y'all thinking? What was your expectation?
Me personally, I'm not gonna lie, and I honestly believe that we were going to be a pretty good team, a very competitive team. I just knew with the acquisition of Brunson, I just knew him in himself by himself was going to change a lot of things, and I've clearly said he was going to make us 8 to 10 games better, and which he's done. So he hasn't. I'm not saying I've liked them. What more shocked me the most was how we won a lot of games, and how we, you know what I'm saying, how we came from behind, you know, and turned things around. And I just after December, I was just like, we going the expectations are what I thought so. You know what I mean? We were finally meeting our expectations. You know, well, my expectations.
Right.
So I feel I'm very proud. I'm very proud of this season, regardless, you know, how the chips may fall later on today. You know, if win, lose, or draw, we did everything we possibly could, and hopefully we got more left in the tank. You know, but that's for the players to decide, and on how they want to go out, or do they want to go out on these terms and change their circumstances. Right. That's just my opinion.
Bro, it's crazy, man. I had a wild feeling about it. So this was my feel. Dre, you remember when we talked about during the summer how we talked about the Knicks pick and roll percentage? And remember how we talked about we picked apart players' assist percentage and all of that, and steals percentage and all of that?
Yeah.
We
ran a ton of we were running the same stuff we ran last year. It's just you have a talented lead guard that's doing it instead.
Right.
Now, however far it'll make it in the playoffs, it's proven to be a regular season winner, a thing that can get you through the first round.
Right.
Now it's the adjustment towards getting better, but that's a whole nother argument. I kind of went a little bit too far on a tangent, but yeah, about the statistics, yeah, definitely.
Right.
We went through that.
Right. Bro, when we were talking about that with Selly, when I was mentioning this, bro, even though I was apathetic because we didn't get Donovan Mitchell, I was like, bro, que sera, whatever. Right. But I also, from a basketball perspective, saw a team that could win 55 games, 56 games, 57 games is what I thought this was the top end for this team. And not because everybody was going to turn into a star, but because the parts coming together would make the sum greater than the parts, right? Just because of the pick and roll offense, how often we use it, I felt like this team could be a top 8 offense and a top 4 defense. And usually teams that do that are like 53, 54 win teams, right? At a minimum, right? And then I also kind of thought that I didn't see RJ taking the next step. I ain't gonna lie. I thought RJ Barrett would be the same as he was last year. He wound up being better, being more efficient this year. But I thought Cam Reddish was gonna blossom. I thought no lie, I thought Quentin Grimes was gonna be about 15 points a game on 40% shooting in elite defense. That didn't happen. I thought Quickly was gonna be about 15 points a game on about I thought Quickly was going to be 45, 40, 90 in great defense. That didn't happen.
Well, I
right?
mean, he was pretty close. He was like 14.9 and 46, 36 and 80. With
Yeah,
elite defense. His defense is a lot better than any of us anticipated.
and the all defensive teams came out and no Knicks were on it.
Bullshit. Well,
Yeah,
mine are
yep.
that
I'm
is.
with you. I'm with you. I'm with you
They
on that.
gave a vote to Tyrese Halliburton. This is how you know these awards are just reputation because that man didn't play a lick of defense the entire
Right.
year, other than playing
Right.
passing lanes.
Right. It was. I think it was home cooking. I think it was home cooking. Whoever covered them. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't want to put him on the team, fine. But he didn't get a vote, like not
A
one.
vote. No votes at all.
AD
Come
wasn't
on.
on the list.
Nah.
And
Nah.
we know we watching the playoffs. We know AD is he's probably playing the best defense right now of anybody remaining in the
The
playoffs.
last 3 years.
And here is the thing to me. Yo, somebody's gonna have to explain this to me one way or the other. I need to understand this. How is Mitchell Robinson getting no love in the defensive category when we value Mitch's defense? This
It's
is one of
reputation, man. So
yeah.
It's because his defense ain't like dealing with blocks. It's mostly rebounding, boxing out, being in position, causing contested, difficult shots. So a lot of people don't see that as glory. They want to see the blocks. They want to see the steals. They want to see that.
splash plays.
Yeah, they want it like everybody wants like a Kevin Durant style defense, but to me, Kevin Durant is just using his height right now as an advantage. AD's defense is what I want. Or Claxton's defense. Claxton is a good rotating help, or I like defense. But the problem is if you got good defense, you need that offense. The league now is if you have great offense, you can counter set your defense to be better because on offense, everybody's gotta worry about the top offensive players. Then when they go back on defense, they're kind of tired. So that transition it helps out. But if you just play straight defense, they're just gonna run you out the park.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. And I did the cardinal mistake of when you moderate. I opened up 3 topics at once, right?
Yeah.
I did the your expectations for the Knicks, right? And then I'm talking about the all defensive team, and then I point out Mitch, right? Because Mitch is his own topic. But let me do this. I'm gonna move away from that and just talk about Mitch for a second, right? How does Mitchell Robinson have a defensive reputation with us and doesn't have a defensive reputation around the league? And what that makes me think is if we as Knicks fans are overrating Mitch, why don't we just upgrade the position?
I don't think we're overrating him. I think part of Mitch's reputation and to be absolutely honest with you, Freezy, winning as a whole gives you the rep. When you're in a profile of on a winning team and you're on nationally televised games more often and you're making plays to win, you develop the rep over time. Like Jaren Jackson didn't come into the league with the rep immediately. Like they knew he had the ability, but the Grizzlies being a winning basketball team, winning 50 games every year, puts him in that spotlight to even develop that reputation. Like if the Knicks were to come out and win 48 to 52 games for the next 3 years, Freezy, Mitchell will be up there. But it has to do with optics, spotlight. These writers don't watch the Knicks, Freezy. Like
Right.
let's be
By
real.
that time he'll be a Detroit Piston, bro.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right, Freezy. But I'm saying like the optics and these writers, they don't watch the Knicks.
No, I
Freezy.
mean I understand where you're coming from. Zach Lowe said it himself on the Zach Lowe podcast, on a Low Post podcast. He was like, "Yo, you expect all these guys to be so knowledgeable about every guy. It's impossible for a human being to watch every minute of every NBA game every night." And he right.
This is why narratives get created on players, and then it's hard for them to shake it or even retain it. And then, like, this is one of the things. Like, Kobe Bryant was not an All NBA defender 13 times, but he got it 13 times.
No, Kobe Bryant wasn't no All NBA defender. No, no.
Like at his peak, maybe 3, 4, 5 years in a row, but
No, Kobe
he
wasn't.
fell off.
Kobe
He fell off on the end for his offense, which
he was never. Kobe was never Nah, bro, you got to think about, and we're gonna get back to Mitchell Robinson, right? But Kobe being all defense, and listen, I'm not trying to spit on nobody's grave, man. You know what I'm saying? But listen, Kobe Bryant being an all NBA defender is laughable, right? That's like saying that's like when people say Mike Conley was an all NBA defender. Bro, that's absolutely laughable. Right? Mike Conley was a great defender. No, Mike Conley was not. Mike Conley during his prime years was always surrounded by elite defenders that got no credit for playing defense. Always.
Tony Allen, Marcus Hall.
Yep. James Posey. What's the other guy name? It's another dude that when you saw James Posey, you saw the other dude. He was like another 6'8" dude. They generally played together, whether it was in Boston or Memphis. I forget. I forget his name, but yeah, yeah. Generally, when Zach Randolph wasn't the best spatial defender, but he was a tough defender. Yeah.
As he got older, he became better at team defense. Because when he was on the Knicks, he wasn't playing on defense.
No, he didn't care. Why would he?
Nobody cared.
Right. Why? Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah. So when we talk about Kobe Bryant winning,
he got it 13 times for 13.
Yeah, it just shows the NBA. The NBA sometimes I think is rigged, bro. Sometimes certain stuff. I'm like, yeah, yeah, that ain't quite what I saw. Like when you like legit, and I know a lot of people can't go see games, right? But what I would suggest for NBA fans, for Knicks fans, is go watch the Knicks play out of town at least once a year. Like you and when I say out of town, I don't even mean Philly. I mean go watch the Knicks play in Brooklyn once a year. And I know that's not out of town, but I mean in a away game.
Right there.
Yeah, I mean in a away game. Right? Just go watch the Knicks play in an away game, away from all the imagery, shine and polish, and where guys are just playing their natural brand of basketball. Bro, like to me, the most impressive defender, I'm not saying the best, the most impressive defender that we have is Quentin Grimes, right? But I think the best defender is Emmanuel Quickly, but Grimes will guard anybody, regardless of skill set, regardless of size, and he'll be physical with them. I saw him push Kelly Oubre, bro. I saw him chicken wing Kelly Oubre, and I was like, yo, this dude right here, he don't care about nothing. This dude right here, he don't care about who it is he defending. He gonna give every ounce of what he got, and I think that may be the reason why Tibbs love him so much, because he'll defend anybody. He don't care.
He's a guy you just sick. You sick him out there.
Yeah, he don't care. He'll guard anybody, bro. He'll guard anybody. I think Josh Hart has that same dog in him, but Josh Hart's not a defender. Josh Hart to me is an energy guy, right? Josh Hart is an energy guy where
it's not technique, but Josh Hart is just just
effort.
Try to be as physical and throw my body at you a million times.
Effort.
And when you watch when you watch Grimes play, he was more like, I'm using footwork to navigate these screens and trying to body you up and face you up and be physical. But he's also not gonna get the benefit of the doubt because he's a young player. So like when you're on a winning team, you get the accolades on a consistent winner. That is like dudes don't turn around from a team that doesn't have a reputation and it was under 500 and then turn around and get the accolades when they win 47 games. It just doesn't really happen like that.
Right. Yeah, man. When I watch these, I think it was.
That's why Brunson wasn't an all-star. My bad for you.
Yeah, it's exactly why Brunson wasn't an All-Star.
Because but coming off this season, if he puts up comparable stats, they're just gonna throw him in the All Star game just off of
Yeah,
optics and how writers, no matter how intense that they say writers are, they focus on everything. They're just as casual as the fans are.
right, right. You can't. It's impossible to keep up with all of, with even as a full-time Knicks content creator. And what I mean by full-time Knicks content creator is not that I do this full-time, but the Knicks are who I follow full-time. Right? As a Knicks content creator and not an NBA content creator, it's impossible. It's impossible to keep up with even the Celtics and the Sixers and the Raptors, and they're in our division. Right? It's impossible because most teams play the same time every night. Right? 7 o'clock. Two teams in your division playing at the same time. You got to watch your team. You want to watch your team live, and then you may be replaying the Celtics versus the Pelicans. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, the Sixers are in Portland, so it's hard trying to catch everybody at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. Here's the thing with that. I still believe that, you know, this team, based on the way we felt coming into the season, this Knicks team, based on how we felt coming into the season, far exceeded everything that we were looking to. Because even me, I felt like if everything went right, this team could have won 55 games. If everything would have went right.
But
if
nothing ever. I mean, in the NBA season, nothing ever goes.
Nothing ever goes right. You're right. But even at that time too, even at that time also, I felt like the Knicks did need to go out and get a guy, and I felt like Mike Conley was that guy. I felt like if we'd have just had us a veteran point guard that can, you know, play with Derrick Rose on the second unit and allow Derrick Rose just to be a bucket as opposed to being a facilitator, I felt like we could have, you know, but I felt like the Knicks, if the Knicks could have went out and got a Sean Livingston
type, because it's like, I mean, we're kind of trying to facilitate that like way with the Josh Hart acquisition. He's not that type of player, but he does multiple things. Granted, from a smaller size than you want.
Yeah.
But it's like, I hate to use the word overachieve because that would mean our talent just played above their heads. But I feel like we had the talent, but everything piecing together, considering injuries and weird things that may happen over the course of the season, and guys being in and out of the rotation, guys being up and down. The way we've gotten to this particular point should I have nothing to be upset about or ashamed of, to be honest. So
right.
now, if we're like critiquing actual playoff games, that's something else completely different.
Yeah, that's
entirely.
something else. I mean,
But stepping out in the macro and viewing where we've started and where we're at, I'm happy where the process went.
Yeah, I think we honestly as a franchise, I think we in a good place. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
As a franchise, I think we in a good place in terms of how a lot of things played out this season. It wasn't ideal, but like you mentioned earlier, nothing is ever ideal. You know what I'm saying? You just got to you know, basically handle things the best you can.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I think, man, Brunson establishing himself as the New York Knicks point guard of the future, that was something.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not easy coming into a position where he's come like it's been up and down with him, like on the defensive end, for sure. But for him to enter this position as the lead guard on a team for the first time since college and being expected to produce and being game planned against,
Right.
and slowly as the years gone, he's gotten better and better at it.
Right.
I can only think positively on how he'll end up a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now.
Right.
He's only going to get better.
Think
Same
we in a
goes for
good spot.
RJ too.
Think we in a good spot, boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we in a good spot. We definitely need.
We ain't in the penthouse suite, but we're heading up.
Yeah, we in the middle floors. Like we ain't on the first floor where you trying to sleep and people constantly going by your room. You know what I'm saying?
You can hear feet.
Yeah, well, you can hear feet. You can hear cats cooking in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? You ain't.
You up by where you can hear the room service every couple hours.
Yeah. So we definitely in a good spot, man. What are you expecting? Like what are you expecting from Quickly and Grimes and RJ and Obi going forward? Like what's your thing? Like start like going forward, like from today on. What do you expect from
In
the
the
young core
playoffs
of
or
players?
like
Nah,
going to the next season.
just in general. Like, what do you expect from them going
I
forward?
definitely see improvement from Quentin and IQ and RJ.
Okay.
I don't know if Obi's gonna even be here, but I see improvement from them, steady improvement, because they've figured out their niche in the league, all of them, relatively.
Right.
They figured out their niche and their role, and they're
Right.
gonna exceed and grow in it. And they're in the parts of their careers where you do grow. Like the growth from age 22 to 23, 24, 25. That's the big growth in NBA players when they develop.
Right.
That's the immediate spikes that you see in terms of guys going from being
Right.
developmental players to consistent role players to stars to superstars. That's the area that you see it in. Jimmy
Right.
Butler is just an anomaly. He doesn't he doesn't kind of he doesn't equate. He doesn't factor. Even though development isn't linear, he's one of the rare guys that took off after 27, 28,
Right.
29.
Right.
But
Bro,
for Quickly and Grimes and RJ, I only expect them to get better. Which is why I'm like not even that keen on doing the big move or whatever, because I'm interested in seeing the spike in their development. Because
that move is coming though, Dre.
it's probably gonna come. I'm not
That
gonna lie
move
to
is
you.
coming. I already heard. I already
But if they're
heard.
not here or not, like there's gonna be a spike in their development. Just off numbers, there's three of them. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
bare
Even if
minimum, one of them is gonna spike up.
one of them's gonna blow up. Right.
And
Right.
I'm pretty confident that all three are going to take strides. Now, I don't know development. As I said, development isn't linear, so I don't know if all of them are going to spike high, but they're all going to improve.
Right.
One of them might end up being a for sure star.
Right. Right. Nah, I feel you.
I honestly, to go back to your first question, I didn't really expect the Knicks to be this deep in the playoffs, but excuse me, based off 2 years ago with Atlanta, I can see where we're at, and I'm actually satisfied because I really just had us in the playoffs in the first round, not the second round. But we need to show more. And with that, I really have doubts about our future young guys, Toppin, Quigley, and all of them, because now is the time, should have been the time you guys shine. Like, now y'all should have been like the young dogs, yo, we're here to prove something. So maybe they need a little bit more time in development. I don't know if the Knicks will give it to them. But like I said, I see potential as a team within time. But right now, next year, I guarantee if we don't hit the box in like the first 30 games and we ain't got like 22 wins, I guarantee you it's just gonna go crazy. They're gonna start trading people. It's just
22-8. That's a little
I'm
steep,
dead
man.
serious. Like I'm telling you, the way I not just the way I feel, but what I've been hearing, that's how everybody talks. And the reason why we rate Donovan, we rate Mitchell so high on defense is because most of the people who watch games and know about defense are New Yorkers. We are the ones that, because we're the ones that still play that old school basketball the longest. Most people done changed up their style. We didn't. So for
I,
us, we have most of our judges in one area. So it's not that we
I,
overrate him on defense. It's just you got more people like, look at Robinson, look at how he is in New York.
Right.
I'm gonna say this though, there hosts of underrated defenders around the league that didn't get a vote. So
Like
not
Claxton,
even.
I honestly think Claxton should have been on the defensive team because, be honest, he lost KD and he still held down his defense. He did a lot, but even AD, I don't understand how AD isn't in the defensive team.
It's narrative. It's narrative.
Yeah.
Like
And how
you
did
can
MV
control what you can control on the court, but
like to
narratives
me
come with it. And I feel like 80 missed time, so they try to hold the
Yeah.
missing time
like
thing
four
out on.
games? That's the same thing with the MVP because Joel Embiid comes out after the All Star break for what 4 weeks and does a dominant scoring, but then misses a
He
week
scored.
and he's
I think he
MVP.
missed like 16 games or something. Like the
Yeah,
new
he went
rules,
out for like a week.
If the new rules came into effect this year, Joel wouldn't win the
He wouldn't
MVP.
win. That's why it was important for him to win it this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
but Jokic was a
he's
beast
always
though.
gonna get hurt.
Like
Yeah.
Jokic he played the most games. Jokic did everything. Look
Jokic
at him
missed like
tonight.
Jokic missed like 13, 14 games too.
Yeah.
He missed some games.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this though about where we are, bro. I think the Knicks are gonna send a clear message to the young guys that they need to
Tighten
develop.
up right
Yes,
now.
right now. Yep. Yep. Because for one, I can see one or two of them guys out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about Daquan Jeffries and Dwayne Washington and Trevor Keels. I ain't talking about that. I think Trevor Keels is gonna bump his way up the depth chart some this summer. Nobody knows what he is at this point. Excuse me. Right now, he looks like is a do it all combo guard with on ball skills. Right.
What we want him to be is like Marcus Smart, but that's asking for a lot. A
That's that's
lot.
that's
Nah.
asking a lot, and then plus his shot is wildly inconsistent. You know how people say streaky,
But that's the thing that like confused me because in high school his shot was his strength.
right? Yep, yep.
So if it maybe it's just a step back in his development in terms of finding consistency. But
He need to get his ass in shape.
I
yeah,
just got a
he got
question.
like a lot of baby weight on him.
He got a
Like
lot
just
of high school study hall weight on him.
yeah, he got a lot of I ate pizza every day.
I
Weight
got
or
a
something.
question. Why is the Knicks always changing up head coaching and front office? Why don't we change up our development core? Like have camps to where these guys can go to and practice. I know we got summer league and I know they got their workouts, but I'm talking about like development coach, like a real development coach.
But that's part of the development coach is part of the coaching staff.
No. What I'm saying is like we should upgrade that now before we change any of the coaches and actually get good guys that can show these guys how to shoot a better three, show them how to do a head fake and move.
I'm telling you, that's what Johnny Bryant does.
Yeah, him and Tibbs lead that.
No. What I'm saying
That's
is I
literally what
understand that.
Johnny Bryant does.
I
Yeah.
understand that, but what I'm saying is this time around, if we start to make changes, I think we should change there first. That way we can start to have a
What
good
do you mean?
system
What do
to
you
go
mean?
up.
The approach or the personnel?
The personnel and the approach.
Oh,
Is it because
uh,
if you can't change the personnel because the personnel is the head coach?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
that's
I'm saying. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. If they make
eh,
any moves, like as far as like the front office or anything like that, I think that we need to find a development coach that can actually help these guys with these games because basic basketball is being overlooked. Like I'm saying, like somebody like you just said about the shots, it's so weird. How is your basic strength that you were when you first started off now the most difficult thing for you? It shouldn't be like that.
it's this is why I say development isn't linear because when you're working on multiple things at one time, as with as in real life, if you're working on multiple things at one time or multiple skills, something might fall off while
Yep.
you're trying to increase another skill.
Right. And the one thing I learned in life, the one thing I learned about being I say this, it's gonna sound so bad, but the one thing I learned about failing a lot in corporate America is multitasking is a bad thing. Pick out one thing and do it and
That is
finish.
true.
Pick out one
That's
thing and finish it, and then take on another thing and finish it. The
that
worst thing a human being, because a human being is not built. A human being is not built to manage multiple tasks at one time. That's why you like when you see a beehive, all those bees, you know what I'm saying, have one job. But when you see the hive, you see a whole bunch of people busy doing it's because you don't see 100 bees doing one job. You see 100 bees doing one job, right? And their job is important and they will live and die by that job. Right. And if when that bee stops doing his job well, you know what happens? You know what the hive does?
kicks him out.
They kicks him out. They kick him out and put another bee in that job.
It,
You know what I'm
it,
saying?
it,
Yeah,
it's
that's one of the things like with Trevor Keels, his development this year was strictly to work on handles. Like all the stuff you see Trevor Keels working on his ball handling all year. All year. That's been his thing. Now, in the course of a game, do you play the team game and do other stuff? Yeah, but when you talk about what Trevor Keels improved on from year 1 to year 2, it's his handles. You know what I'm saying? Because they want him to be a playmaking. I don't know.
if you're
What,
gonna be a 6'2" guard out there, you need to be able to bring the ball up
right, right, right.
and initiate, because otherwise you end up like Pat Beverly.
Yeah, you just you end up a Quentin Grimes
Yeah.
running from the ball because you don't have
Or
confidence in it.
panicking as soon as you get the ball. Oh, let me get an outlet
Right.
and get the ball
But
out. That's why you got turnovers last game.
I totally agree with you where we need to be more detail oriented. You know what I'm saying? Work on the details. You know what I'm saying?
I,
Instead of the broadest scope of things. You know what I'm saying? Especially in life. You know what I'm saying? Because
I feel
that's
like
where things
we're
miss.
doing that, Lee. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel
No,
like we're
no.
doing that with
Oh, no, I'm not
specific
going
players.
against anything. I'm just saying that we
Right.
still need, there's certain things that we still need to, there's certain details that still need to be worked out
Yes.
with the
Right.
team.
That,
Right.
yep.
Certain details.
But we gotta remember, our rotation is the youngest in the playoffs left.
Yeah.
No
But
doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But that speaks volumes to the development, going back to the development
Right.
where we have stepped it up in each year. And if you think from 2 years ago to where we're at this point, we're light years ahead right now,
Right.
considering
And and, and
from what everybody else says from the outside looking in at us.
and like two guys that were mainstays in the rotation all year were two 25th overall picks. So if that's not development, I don't know what is. Like most guys drafted 25 and later, they're at the end of the bench. They're not mainstays in your rotation. You're lucky to hit on someone later in the first round that actually plays anywhere from 25 to 30 to 35 minutes.
is
And
that
and
because
I'm
of
talking about Grimes and IQ.
Right.
but
Right.
is that because of their how they basically contribute to the team? Like on the
Yes,
Knicks,
they contribute to winning.
no wait, hold on.
Contribute to
They can
oh,
contribute to the Knicks really well, but if we move them to somewhere else, they're a totally different player. Like to give you an example, look at Iverson when he was with the 76ers and then goes to the Nuggets. He's still the same player, but he didn't get the same coverage and he didn't get the same like everyone just downplayed his career. That's what I'm
well,
saying. Like we
I,
may have drafted him and they may have been of value to us, but to others, you know.
I I don't know about that because number one, he averaged like 28 when he was a Nugget, while playing
Mhm.
with another player that was better than anyone that he ever played with on the Sixers,
Mhm.
and Melo. So
No,
I don't think it
but
was a
that's not. I don't think that's the point he was making. I think it's more of the optics of it, of how you
okay,
look.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm
okay.
saying? How you look in Philly when you're the golden child
Yep.
and you don't accept offers for the number one pick in a draft that had Kobe and Ray Allen and Stephon Marbury and Marcus Camby and Peja Stojakovic and Steve Nash. You're like, nah, I ain't even taking offers for the number one pick. Allen Iverson gonna be number one. John Wallace was in that draft. You know what I'm saying? It was a bunch of people. And so in Philly, originally, AI was the golden child. Man, they even changed their uniforms.
I mean,
Yeah.
But he was, he played at a high level. So.
Yeah, no doubt. But I guess what I understand from it is the way that you're treated in Philly is one thing, and the way you're seen in Philly is one thing.
Yes.
Versus the way you're seen in Denver, putting up similar production is another thing.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm just to clarify, Quentin Grimes' skill set. If you watch like Christian Brown on the Nuggets, you know who that is, the kid from Kansas.
Yeah.
They love him for a lot of the same things that we love Quentin Grimes for, right?
Right.
So there's a place in the league for wings that are aggressive, can play defense, and are not afraid.
Right.
There's always going to be a play like,
and he's big too, by the way.
Yeah, he's big. He's a big kid. But it's one of those things where if you think Quentin Grimes wouldn't be loved in another organization, I have nothing. Like, if he plays exactly like this in another organization, they would love him.
Right.
And the fan base would love him.
Right.
As long as the development and the consistency happens. Like, when we talk about New York is the harshest critic. Even though we love our fans, other fan bases, they just love their players. They don't even
we don't love our fans, but the fans love our players. Our fans love certain players, though.
Right. What I'm saying is, like, in New York, we critique our players the hardest.
Yeah.
If you were to go to Denver or something, they're only gonna highlight the good. There's nobody in Denver that's gonna call him a ham sandwich.
Right. Yeah, EG 14,000 gonna write Reddit articles.
Right. So it's one of those things where there's way more positive than any negative when you play in any other organization in the league, barring like the Lakers or something.
And so Justo 11, thank you for the generous contribution. Justo 11 says, do you think Tibbs hinders our offensive potential? Yes.
That's what I mean with development. We need someone that could get us better offensively and keep Thibodeau's defense, and we got that balance.
Ideally, I think Tibbs would love to have
like a motion offense, but he's turnover averse.
If he had two-way scorers, right? Like if Tibbs had Paul George and Kawhi Leonard,
no,
bro, he would never even address point guard, bro. In my mind,
but
you would just run a ton of isolation.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's my point.
What I'm saying is those two guys' skill set is so unique. All I'm saying is let's find guys that we can develop that can play not as good as them, but can contribute like them. You see what I'm saying? Like, they may not be able to get to the basket and all of that, but they're putting up numbers and they're scoring. We could develop that. We got a lot of good guys here.
I would say this though, even though our offense lends itself to a ton of isolation,
right.
The better the player gets in a read and react, you get more varied results.
Yeah.
So if Quentin Grimes was better or further along in his development, you'd see more in terms of his ability to contribute in offense. But you see, like, a lot of the times he gets the ball, he attacks closeouts, and then he gets lost and jumps in the air and doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
His process isn't up there because he doesn't have that much experience. So if you were to bestow upon him even more responsibility than what he's getting now, he'd be a turnover machine, just putting that plainly.
Why he learned, but if he was on a lottery team doing that,
yeah, it'll be okay.
He would be learning on the job.
Like basically what Devin Booker got away with for like 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years, yeah. Because Devin Booker should not be a star in this league, bro.
Nah,
he didn't even start at Kentucky.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm talking about.
There's a lot of guys that didn't. Like Shai Gilgeous didn't start. Well, you don't like Shai, so
yeah. Well,
but if you look at how they develop,
well, his situation,
No, I was going to agree with you, Uncle Freezie. Is like you said, it's work on a job, work on a job. We need to make work on a practice, something to where we could get these guys that type of looks, that type of experience pre-game, to where they're like, "Yo, you're not finishing at the basket. Do this." Like, I really think I hate to say this guy's name because he's a good coach, but he got backlash with Golden State. Like Mark Jackson, the way he
No,
developed Golden. No, let me explain. The way he developed them in the early stages to where they got comfortable and they built behind them. Yes, Kerr did develop the team better and make them better and made them into a championship. But that early development from Mark Jackson, that's all I'm asking for from another
but
coach to help
this
our
is the
team.
thing. I'm gonna clarify that point. When we talk about offense, Mark Jackson was
No,
running
you're
an
right.
archaic offense, just
Yeah.
putting it
But
plainly.
that's
It
Tibbs.
was yeah. He established the defensive mentality that the
Right.
Warriors had, even
Right.
though he didn't necessarily play Draymond. He included Draymond and played him a little bit, but he never started him. But he implemented the defensive identity at first.
Right.
Now, when they added Kerr, Kerr just this is what the Warriors were doing. Like they were putting regular gas in a Ferrari, and when Kerr got there, he was like, you need to get this premium gas. I'm gonna get this Ferrari humming. All 12 cylinders are gonna be humming, and then I'm gonna wipe my hands of it. That's basically what Steve Kerr did in terms of what he implemented on offense. Because when you watch the Warriors before, it was Steph Curry handling the ball at the top of the key, running pick and roll offense, simple pick and roll offense.
Right. Yo, so all right, so develop Kawhi and Paul George type guys take more 3 and 4 years. You also gotta get the right guys. Not everybody can become that guy. I agree with you on that.
I agree with
That's
Bucky.
one of the things that I was gonna suggest. Like even if you get, say, a Cam Whitmore type guy out of college,
Man, you saw
right?
that thing I sent you? Man,
You sent me something,
yeah, on Discord
bro.
about
Bro,
Cam Whitmore.
man, look, I overslept, bro. So I may
Oh, you good, man. I sent you something that measured his athletic ability. And
as soon as I open it up, I see a chart.
my
Dang,
God,
okay, I see this pic. Dang, this dude is jumping over a dude's waist.
yo, he's gonna be immediately like a top 3, 4 athletic guy in the league. Immediately.
Wow, wow,
Who
wow.
is this you talking about, Dre?
Cam
Cam
Whitmore.
Whitmore.
Okay.
And the thing about him is he can walk and chew gum at the same time. Like he could dribble the ball, he can put the ball on the floor, he can create his own shot.
Right, right.
He's like a heavier shade of sharp.
Is he Vince Carter esque?
I don't know if I want to say
Is let me ask it in a different way.
Sean Kemp.
Is he a power athlete?
yes, he's a power athlete.
Sean
Okay.
Kemp.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be bullying dudes at his position. Like they might
Okay.
play him at the 3, he's gonna be bullying and powering through contact.
Okay.
Like they're not there.
Because because what happens is we say this thing all the time, man, we need more athletes, but athletes are so different. Like there is the speedy athlete, like Tyronn Lue, Allen Iverson type, right? And then there is the power athlete,
Like
Dominique
Kaminga,
Wilkins,
like
Vince
Kaminga,
Carter.
someone like. Well, I want to
Ye-
say he reminds me of like Kaminga with guard skills, which is like,
Well, they say Kaminga had guard skills, bro.
but nah, he's stiff. He's kind of
Can-
stiff when he has the ball in his hand on the perimeter. Like when you watch him, he's kind of upright. He can
I
get
think
low when he
I
gets a
think it's
straight line.
because he's thinking, bro. The game is too fast. From once the
Maybe,
game slow down for him, I think
yeah,
he'll be more of a fluid athlete. But you can tell Steve Kerr's got this dude trying to make 15 decisions in like a 3-second stretch. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's the same thing that happened to
Instead
Scotty
of just
Barnes this year.
playing, yeah,
Instead of playing freely, yeah. Instead of making the offense around him, they incorporate in him to an offense that already existed. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So maybe I could see a scenario, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. If the Warriors lose this year, I could see a scenario where they go all in on these kids or trade all these kids away.
I think all of them. They might trade. Well, Poole's contract is horrendous, but
Terrible. Yeah.
they might trade him.
Yeah.
They might trade Kaminga. The only one that they have there,
Moody
the
is
only
the
one they
bust,
have
bro.
there that's actually playing is Moody. Actually, Freezie.
You like Moody?
I don't like him per se, but he's
His
actually
rebounding.
playing playoff minutes and being productive.
Okay.
Like he fits the mold of like a high IQ generic wing that can fit and just do what he's told to do, and he's just athletic and he can shoot the three. They don't want anything more than that.
The thing about Moody is I think his high school athletic profile and his collegiate athletic profile doesn't translate to the NBA athletic profile. So when he was an elite athlete in high school and a good athlete in college, he's an above average athlete in the NBA, but his reputation was for him to be an elite athlete. Kind of like what I think Bronny is going to be. Right?
Bronny?
Yeah. I think Bronny is going to be that type of dude. You know what I'm saying? I think Bryce is going to be the guy.
I think Bronny's too short. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Bronny.
But he's legit. I saw him dap up Steph Curry. He's 6'3" for sure.
But for like the way his game is progressing right now, or where he played at Sierra Canyon and all these other games, even amongst other star players, he's just like an ancillary guy. Like he's willing to just be a catch and shoot for the corners and play defense guy. Like he's not taking over games, if that makes sense. But he like he's an amazing shooter for his age. And he's an amazing athlete for the grouping that he's in. But we'll see what happens to his development at USC. If he might turn into much more of a on-ball threat.
Well, the one thing about USC is they turn stiffs into athletes. I don't know how they do it. They must have some type of machine, but they turn stiffs into athletes at USC. I don't know how they do it, bro.
DeMar DeRozan.
Who?
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, DeRozan. Yeah, DeRozan and a bunch of they. Yeah. Let me ask you this: how I don't know what's going on with, and I don't want to talk about off-season stuff and give people the impression that I'm giving up on this season because I'm not. It's just a late night conversation, and the game we already broke down in a 7-game series, bro. All the strategy stuff is out the window at this point.
We cement to end result like it's 2K at this point.
Yeah.
What will be.
Yeah. But how impressed are you with these skills? I heard this conversation, and I don't know if people take this conversation seriously or not, but people look at the two Ball brothers that play point guard in the NBA,
Lonzo and
LaMelo, and a lot of people think LaMelo is vastly more skilled than Lonzo.
On offense, he is.
I've seen both of them play in person, and
at the same ages, like Lonzo didn't want to even shoot the ball, and LaMelo is isolating and creating like 28-foot step back threes. So like offensively, but
he's not hitting.
Is different.
I seen LaMelo play like 5 times live, bro. I saw him create his own shot, bro, and it looks terrible after it leaves his hand.
Yeah, I think a lot of the injuries screwed up. I think a lot of the injuries screwed up his development this
LaMelo?
year because when he did play, he was much more efficient than his prior years. But he still has like a lot of the bad habits in terms of turnovers and stuff.
He can't ever be my point guard, bro. I legit will run out of the stands and tackle him, bro. I swear to God, bro.
He does a lot of Jordan Poole stuff.
Yeah, bro. Actually, I saw the Hornets run the crispiest play they ran all night. Everybody that got screened was screened, and you know what I mean by that, right? And so I saw them run the crispiest play, right? Terry Rozier catches it in the corner and throws up a brick, but that's what he is. He a bricklayer, right? They run the same play again, get the same result before they can get halfway through the play. LaMelo jacks up a 28-foot three as if he's Steph Curry.
This is the thing. Like, I'm separating talent from IQ. Lonzo
Right.
Ball has
By
a
far the
vastly
better
superior basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
if we put LaMelo's talent on Lonzo, we talking about a top 1-2 point guard in the league.
Right.
That's the thing. That's the difference. Like, when I talk about talent gets you so far, but you don't have the mental part of the game. Then
Right.
you end up like Jordan Poole. So
Right.
it's so when I said like he has more talent than him, it's not to say he's a better player than him overall.
Right.
I just know his ceiling, if he were to ever reach it,
Right.
would be vastly superior to Lonzo just because he can do so much more
He's
on
able
offensive
to do
terms
more
of
stuff.
carrying a team offensively because
He's
much
quick,
more of a scorer.
He's a quicker twitch athlete than Lonzo.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
like he has a
offensively-
faster first step for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Defensively though, Lonzo
no.
is stronger.
Yeah.
Lonzo is faster, has better anticipatory skills. Like Lonzo is a better defender, and quite honestly, in my belief, offensively, I think Lonzo is a better passer right now. And I'm talking about
A better passer, but LaMelo's a more creative passer.
Yeah, I'm talking about the act of passing the ball, right? I'm talking about the act of passing the ball from one person to another. I think Lonzo was better.
Yeah.
Now, creating passing lanes and instinctual higher level passing, LaMelo got him by far.
Like
right?
on the Magic Johnson tip.
Yes, that's what I'm talking. But the act of like the John Stockton part of it, like always hitting people on the money.
Exactly, like the consistency.
Yep, I think Lonzo was better. I saw him throw a pass to DeMar DeRozan, and DeMar DeRozan fumbled it out of bounds, right? And the reason why he fumbled it is because
he wasn't expecting it.
he didn't expect it to get through traffic, bro.
He was like, what? He hits dudes in traffic. He gets his dudes in stride in traffic, like wham.
Yep.
And he's a great transition passer.
He's
an instinctual glue guy. That's what he is. And he might not show up. He might not show up all the time in terms of taking over a game and being dominant because he doesn't necessarily want to. He just wants to be a winner.
Right. And he's so quiet, bro. Like you ever like when you see him live, like he don't even talk. He like Kawhi Leonard.
And LaMelo's the polar opposite. LaMelo's out there talking to everybody.
Everybody. This dude, like they were
he definitely got that part of from VAR, and Lonzo got his personality from his mom.
Yeah. I saw Lonzo get a go grab. I saw Lonzo grab a rebound and push it, and the instinctual thing. The defenders came his way, like two defenders came his way. So you know how the defense stop the ball. They don't mean stop the ball. That means slow down the ball so everybody else can. Yeah. This dude drifted to the sideline, drawing the defense to him, and the defense didn't even know they were being manipulated.
Yeah.
He drifted to the sideline and threw a bounce pass around a guy to a dude at the rim for a wide open layup.
He's kind of just like he's like a baby that's toying around with the game just to figure out what works and what doesn't work.
Lonzo did that, and LaMelo would never do that.
Yeah,
I'm saying Lonzo did that. What LaMelo would have did was, LaMelo would have tried to sauce them up in the middle of the court with his dribble,
and then distract them with his dribble.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But it's one of those things. The consistency and like the smaller things are what separates the two. That's legitimately what it is because when you look at like guys like Steph Curry, you always think about the flashy, like he's taking a 30-footer, but he has a mastery of the fundamentals.
Right.
So when you get the consistency is what makes a guy a superstar. That's ultimately really what it is.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of talented guys in the league. There's a lot of guys. Half the league could get 30 on any given night.
Right. As far as talent goes, I think Julius Randle is a top 50 talent in the NBA.
I'd even say higher than that.
Right,
Freezie, I would legitimately say he's 50 talent. I think he's like a top 15 talent when he has it all together. Because he's 6'9", 260, rocked up.
Yep.
Can move
right
pretty effortlessly. Has been developing a dribble over time.
Very underrated hops too, by the way. Very underrated jumping ability. I'm not.
He just needs a little bit of momentum to get to his hops.
Yeah, he's a power athlete, right? As opposed to just like a elevate off the floor, like a elevate off the floor jumping type. Yo, when you watch Zach LaVine looks like an Apache helicopter taking off the floor, bro.
He floats
like he just
he's floating.
Yes,
he floats when he gets up in there.
Yes.
But with Randall, he just needs a couple steps and then he'll take off.
But once he get that step though, bro,
get out the way.
Yep. That basically.
That's how he surprises people with a bunch of dunks because like they don't anticipate him just taking off.
Yeah.
And then you look, he's like coming across the rim on the wrong side, dunking with his left hand.
Right. Bro, it's crazy, bro. It's man, the dude is super talented.
It's just
but he's not the complete package though.
And if he was, we wouldn't have been able to sign him for $20 million.
Right. No doubt. Because when you look at his contemporaries at the time of his signing, like Marcus Morris, Bobby Portis, Noah Vonleh,
way more talented than all of them.
Way more. It's not even a question.
You don't even have to think about it. Like even when he was overweight, he was more talented than him. He got cut up.
Yeah.
And you saw that his game took another leap just of him being physically in better shape.
Yeah.
But it's the mental aspect of the game with him, unfortunately. So
right. And
because you could look tonight, Randall. It would surprise nobody if Randall dropped 35 just because of his talent.
It wouldn't tonight if Randall went for 45 and 18 and had like 7 assists. People would be like, "Yo, it's about time," as opposed to, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to
wow, I didn't know he could do this.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's one of those. But I just want to say because I'm gonna get out of here, man, and wrap. But I want to take like these last 20 minutes or so and just talk about this one thing. Bro, the Cam Whitmore thing is fascinating to me, right? But here's the drawback to it. The Knicks don't necessarily have a pick that can get that high to get him.
You'd have to trade one of these kids to get someone like that. Unfortunately, Freezie.
Right. So the lottery is May 21st. I think it's May 21st. It's May 21st at about 8:00, right? I'm gonna be live for that because I think that's one of the most important things in Knicks history, right there. That's a watershed moment for us.
That pick conveying for us would legitimately be the best year since '99.
Yep. If we get that pick, now we have additional stuff to talk about for the summer. Right. All the way to the draft.
Through the draft,
what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with the 11 pick?
What are we gonna do with Obi? All this other stuff.
What are we gonna do with RJ? What we're gonna do for Randall? And the thing is, I hope we keep Randall, and I hope we keep RJ. But the more stuff I hear, like people hit me up like I'm in this circle, right? I mean, not even in a circle. I just do a YouTube joint where it's like me and the homies come on, and people feel like they gotta hit me up, DM me on Twitter and IG. Be like, yo, you know, they give me like some kind of fancy title, like I'm the assistant such and such for such and such and such, and I heard the Knicks are snooping on, like legit. There's a small forward out there that the Knicks are hell bent on getting, right? And it's a guy they're only hell bent on getting him because they know the limit of their spending power, right? They're like, yeah, we won't. There's no way we can get Jaylen Brown, right?
Now, right now.
Right, but Jaylen Brown is good. Everybody knows that Jaylen Brown is going to be moved this summer. That's the conveying thought. Like everybody feels like Jaylen Brown is going to be moved somewhere.
The way he talks, he wants to be the guy on the team. That's how he talks.
Jalen Brunson is. I'm sorry, not Jalen Brunson, but Jaylen Brown is gone. Basically,
if they lose this game 6,
he gone. He gone, bro. But the thing about it is if you're the Knicks, do you have because if you trade with the Celtics, they are gonna cripple you.
Yeah, they don't want to trade. First off, they're not going to trade an All NBA type guy to us for scraps
in the division unless we fill up their coffers so much that despite us having Jaylen Brown, we still won't have a chance to beat them.
It would make the Donovan Mitchell trade look like child's play.
Yep. And we're talking about players. You're talking about Randall. You're talking about RJ. You're talking about draft picks. You're talking about quickly. You're talking about
all
something,
at the same time.
Yep. You're talking about something so moronic if you're the Knicks front office that you really can't afford to do it. But at the same time, you have to consider it because you have to look at
tax, man.
Yeah. I mean, think about Jaylen Brown. I don't know why the Knicks fans think about Jaylen Brown like that. I don't see a scenario, but if it's a possibility, then I could see the Knicks at least exploring.
Yeah, you got to put your feelers out. Apparently, the Knicks put feelers out for Giannis, the Giannis situation. So,
right.
Antenna's got to be out, no matter what. I mean, we're in a particular space where we have so many assets that you have to have your feelers out for anybody that's a potential star.
I'm not too big on Brown, but if we're gonna give up somebody big, we need to make sure we get if we're gonna do that, we need to make sure we get a championship next year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And I'm with Kaiser Salsa. Kaiser Salsa, there's no way the Celtics let Jaylen Brown go. But the thing about it is
players decide where they want to go.
Yeah, the thing about it is the summer of 2024, they lose him for free. Jaylen Brown just walk out the door. So he's
I won't say for
free agent.
Freezie because they'll still, because they drafted him, they'll still have the right to or the means to sign him for a contract that's $80 million more than anybody else can offer him.
Right.
Just like the Zach LaVine thing. But Zach LaVine could have signed somewhere else, but the Bulls could offer them like $60 million more than he could get.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with that, and here's the reason why the owners kind of pull the cheddar bob. Right now that players can negotiate their contract extension after the third year, that fifth year dollar money thing, it doesn't even matter in the long term, because by the time you negotiate your second contract, now you're talking about you don't even know what that dollar amount is.
Ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? So like, say if Jaylen Brown re-ups with the Celtics for 5 years, blah blah blah. By the time that
290 or something, I think.
But by the time that third year come on that contract, he could be back in the front GM office again, team president office again, renegotiate another 5-year extension. You know what I'm saying? Or a 5-year extension. Pardon me not, acknowledging details.
They just put 2 more years. You could only add, like, your contract could only be 5 max. So if, hypothetically speaking, if he had 3 years left on his deal,
right,
they could only add 2 more years onto it.
Okay.
He's only fighting for the last 2 years, basically every 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, and then if he declines the the extension offer, now the ball's in Boston's court. Like, by the time that happens, now you're like, what do we do with a 30-year-old Jaylen Brown? Do you let him get to age 32 and then let him walk out of the door? Or do you try to lock him up long term? And when you think about it, 32 nowadays is like 27 back in the days. Plus, Jaylen Brown is not a big. It's like Joel Embiid got to get this money because as soon as centers are like running back. As soon as they turn 30, people don't want them no more. Right? I think it's with Anthony. Did Anthony Davis turn 30 yet?
Yeah.
I thought he was 31 or 32. I'm not sure.
He's not that high, though.
Okay.
I thought he was like 31. My fault.
Yeah. No doubt. Aussie Creative is in the building.
Yeah, he just turned 30.
Yeah, and so now, bro, what we loved about Anthony Davis is no longer what we love about Anthony Davis. He a good player, sure. You gonna give up a lot for him, sure. But are you gonna give up what the Lakers gave up for him?
Hell no.
Hell no. You know what I'm saying?
The price once a guy clears 30 is different.
It's different.
Unless he's a generational talent and he's still playing at a high level. Like,
and it depends on the team that you're dealing with too.
Yeah, like the Kevin Durant people, for instance.
Right.
But Jaylen Brown ain't no damn Kevin Durant. So
I understand where you going there with that, man. But also it depends on market because Atlanta feels like they have the inside track for Jaylen Brown. And Atlanta has limited draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But they have a bunch of young kids.
But what I don't get is that whole market in Atlanta is going through something because they just went through like 3 coaches in the last 2 years. It's a lot of change for that. So for him to go there, it might not be a good option.
Snyder probably it'll take time before he even goes there. Quinn Snyder's basically locked in over there for the next 3-4 years.
And Quinn Snyder has front office say too.
Yeah.
So it's like the clown show that used to be over there with the owner's oldest son just walking down to the office and be like, yo, go get me such and such. Go get me DeJounte Murray. Like, who are you again? My last name Wrestler. Oh, God dog it. Now we got to give a team 17 draft picks because this dude like a certain dude that he went to the club with one time. You know what I'm saying? So now that Snyder's there, it's going to be some. Quite frankly, bro, I think Trae Young might be out of there.
Yeah, I think
I can see that. That's what I mean. Is Trae Young staying there? Are they going to re-sign Murray? What are they going to do?
Yo, I think Trae. In my 2K brain, I can see Trae Young traded to New Orleans. And it be a situation where it's Trae and Zion, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy. They bring back CJ McCollum, and they re-sign the kid Jackson Hayes. They let their veteran center. They have a veteran? It's Valanciunas, right?
Jonas Valanciunas.
I could see a scenario where he departs and they get younger and fresher and cheaper at center. And run up and down the floor with those guys. Easy fix. Easy fix. Atlanta has a ball dominant point guard that wants to dominate the ball. Atlanta has a bunch of non-creative offensive guys that just want to play defense and shoot the three. And it's like a perfect fit for each other, hand in glove, in my mind.
Like I said, it's Atlanta to me. It's like they got to clean up some stuff before anybody would even be wanting to go there. But you made a valid point. I like your point, though. You made me kind of change my thought now.
Yeah, man. Dre, what do you think? Just real quick before we get out of here, what do you think about Brooklyn? What's Brooklyn doing?
I stepped away for a second. Did you say something, Freezy?
Yeah. What do you think about Brooklyn? What's Brooklyn doing?
Oh, I guess they're gonna do the whole process over, but instead, like the process that they did to before they got KD, they're just gonna do that over. But instead, they're just not gonna target a superstar, at least not to cash out immediately.
Do they have any draft picks?
Yeah, the Sixers draft picks when they got for Harden.
And they have Dallas's draft pick that they got for Kyrie.
Yeah, but that's like years away.
And they have KD. They have the Suns draft picks too, right?
Yeah.
So they do have.
They have a lot of draft picks, but remember, because of the KD Kyrie situation, ain't no stars coming over there anytime soon.
Yeah. No, that's why I'm asking. Like what they're doing. Like, why would they?
They might take those picks and like jump up in the draft and get a guy they really want and build around him.
So I got a question. You think they're just gonna re-sign everyone? Like Cam, they're gonna re-sign, Claxton, try to make another run by adding one or two guys, and then in the future rebuilding through those picks.
No, I don't think they're gonna re-sign everybody. I think they're gonna re-sign essential young core pieces.
I think Cam is gonna come back to them.
Yeah, no, him and Mikal Bridges best friends, bro. Yeah, they already talked. That's Brunson and Josh Hart right there, bro. Yeah. Except in Brooklyn. Those two dudes is like twins that
That's
don't look alike.
Each other.
Yeah.
Because they're always at the same place at the same time.
Yeah, they should just keep Bridges, Cam, and Claxton and go off of that.
Nah, you got to keep Dorian Finney-Smith, bro. You got to keep Dorian Finney-Smith. True. Yeah. Now Spencer Dinwiddie, you could probably upgrade there, but you want to upgrade his position, but also keep him. You know what I'm saying? Like because he is effectively Sean Livingston for a championship team. You know what I'm saying? So you want to, if I'm Brooklyn, I think I might be looking to trade up for Scoot, bro.
I don't know if they have their own. I don't believe they have their own draft pick this year.
I
it'd be hard for them to trade up unless they gave them a ton.
But that's another thing.
Scoot is going too, Freezy.
Okay.
And if they don't have their own draft pick, they're gonna be having a late first from another team, and so they'd have to be dipping into selling away actual real life players. And
like who would you who would be available in that scenario? Knowing
no one good enough to jump that high to get Scoot, Freezy. I'm not gonna lie to you. They ain't got nobody good enough to jump to number 2 for Scoot, Freezy. Not in this draft. No.
Are you high on Scoot? Are you high on Scoot?
I think Scoot is gonna be a superstar for the next 10 to 12 years.
But can I say this though? Why trade all your picks for one guy when you see what I'm saying? Like for me, I would rather just keep what I have and find someone in what I got, because in the long run, a lot of good players come out of the middle of the draft. Not everyone can sustain a superstar player.
So BT, who's your favorite player? Who's your favorite NBA player all time?
Me, man, all time. To be honest with you, I gotta say Dr. J. For me, my dad's would be Bernard King. That'll be a second. But like in my era right now, I'd have to say Michael Jordan. Seeing how he transitioned from the early 80s and watching him play early 80s and then watching some of his games in the 90s, seeing him do a full development, I'm like, I respect the man. And also what he did with everyone else outside of the league. Man he had some big stones. Like
Michael Jordan was a number 3 pick in the draft though.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. But if you look though, most people didn't like the way how Doug Collins was with him. Like they were saying, oh, just give the ball to Michael, just give the ball to Michael. But because they did that and they developed him over time, he became such a dominant dude in the 90s to where when he became tested in the finals, he was already proven through all the battles with
Yeah, but that
Isaiah
is the
and
point that I'm
Boston.
getting. The point that I'm getting at is acquiring people in the draft.
Yeah.
Like if think about this. Think about this. If the Knicks had a pick in 84, right? How much now you're the GM of the Knicks and you know what you know about Michael Jordan right now. How much would you trade for Michael Jordan if you had the opportunity to trade up for him?
Okay. Maybe because I'm biased and I've seen what Michael Jordan does, but everybody has that expectation. Are they gonna make it? No. But if I do know that there's a Michael Jordan there, of course I trade it away. But that's the risk that we're all taking.
No. I'm asking you what you would trade though. What would you give up for Michael Jordan?
I'd give damn. It's Michael Jordan, man. But that's what I'm saying.
But
let
me give you some time to think about that. I'm gonna ask Dre. Dre, if you same thing, if you knowing what you know about Michael Jordan, how much would you trade away for Michael Jordan?
You'd have to trade away the next decade of draft picks, but
But he's proven.
back then you could actually do that.
That was before the Stepien rule too, by the way.
Yeah, and that's what
But
I mean.
like back
in
then in those days, you could give guys 15-year contracts.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So for me, it'll be like I'm getting it. I know for 100% if I draft this guy, I'm getting Jordan. Oh, I'm locking in. I'm selling the whole farm. But that's the chance we're all taking. It's a projection, not done already. So
right, I know, but the thing about the draft though is in a draft you gotta take these chances. For instance, y'all know that the Orlando Magic drafted Chris Webber, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and so Chris Webber was thinking on draft day, yo, I'm gonna be playing Shaq next to Shaq for the next 10 years, and everybody leading up to the draft was like, yo, Shaq and Chris Webber side by side.
Yep.
What the this is gonna be crazy. You know what the Golden State Warriors did though? The Golden State Warriors wanted Chris Webber so bad that they gave Orlando Anthony Hardaway and 4 first-round picks for Chris Webber.
That type of deal would never happen ever again.
But see, that's what I'm saying. If we throw the farm at him and we get Chris Webber and we gave up Anthony Hardaway.
But this is the thing, though. They didn't think Anthony Hardaway would be, what his talent would be at the next
now,
level.
mind you,
because he was like a prodigy when he got to the league immediately.
And they also had Tim Hardaway and Latrell Sprewell in a backcourt.
Yeah,
right. They also had those dudes, right? So now when you Golden State, you like, yo, if we add Chris Webber to Chris Mullin and Billy Owens and Tim Hardaway and Latrell Sprewell, we'll run teams off the floor. And that's what they did. But Orlando, on the other hand, got Penny Hardaway and a boatload of draft picks.
And they went to the finals. That was crazy.
And Orlando wasted all those draft picks. But the point that I'm getting at is if Scoot Henderson is there, you have Mikal Bridges, you have Cam Johnson, you have Dorian Finney-Smith, you have Nick Claxton, and everybody else can go. Everybody else can go. All them draft picks can go. If you get a Allen Iverson impact type guy at 2,
then
I think I'm doing it.
But the thing is that it takes 2 to tango. I don't think anybody at 2 would even accept that for how
Boston. I mean Brooklyn.
They would just be like, what am I gonna do with a bunch of late first rounders and some role players when I could just take Scoot right now?
When you could just take Scoot right now and be in that same spot, right? But then you have to consider who is going to be number 2, right? So it could be Detroit, Houston, San Antonio, Charlotte, and Portland, right?
And not one of them would take them picks. Well, right. Portland might, but
Portland might. I think the Pistons, if the Pistons don't get Vic,
they might trade down, but then they're not gonna trade down far. They
Uncle Freezie.
They gonna try to trade, like, the Tatum deal.
Yeah,
they would pull something like that. They wouldn't go all the way out because remember those Nets picks are trash.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they would trade down 2-3 spots, not 17 spots. Like,
Right.
which is basically what the Nets could even offer them. That's the
Right.
only thing they can offer them.
I would strong if I'm a young team and I have everything, like say for instance a team I think that's going to move up in the draft and because they always do is New Orleans. They always do. The NBA is trying to save them, bro. They always move up in the draft. If I'm New Orleans and say I go from like 14 to 7, I'm trading everything. I'm making a move for Scoot.
Okay, then I can agree with that for you.
Right, and here's the thing too.
Or if I go from like if anybody like if the Mavs were to jump up, well,
Right.
they wouldn't do that. But I'm just saying if anybody were to jump up into that 5, 6, 7 range, or
Right.
even 4, they just give up whatever it is to lock in Scoop.
Right.
But from what I'm reading, like NBA scouts aren't the highest on him for whatever reason. Which it could be smoke and mirrors, it could be just nothing.
Right.
It could be nothing or something. Who knows?
Yeah, NBA scouts can't be trusted, bro. You got to go by independent because his I heard I saw a dude got a thing from an NBA scout and he got called on it, kind of, but in a friendly way. Right? He was like, "Yeah, Scoot Henderson had a dip in production during the season, and you wonder if the rigors of the NBA can kind of." And he was like, "What time frame are you talking about?" The dude is like, "Such and such time," and it was the time that Scoot Henderson had a concussion. Scoot Henderson was legit out there trying to play through the concussion. But then when asked about, well, what about Scoot Henderson's game against Vic? They're like, you really can't take that into account because Vic's team is bad. Well, if Vic's team is bad, why are y'all hyping him up like he's good? If he can't even elevate the level of play for the team that he's on, which is handpicked. So which one is it? Is Vic overrated? Or are y'all trying to diminish the value of Scoot Henderson?
I think the reason why
I
think the way
Victor
where the like Freezie, where the where the league is headed, teams are more averse to drafting a 6'2" guy that high in the draft, as opposed to a big wing or something like the way the league is set up. They want big wing. Big wings are the thing that wins basically 9 times out of 10. Like if you're going to the NBA finals.
Right.
You probably seeing a couple all-star big wings up there.
Yeah, no doubt.
So when teams are like kind of averse to doing that, it's mostly because they feel a 6'2" guard doesn't have the impact of a big wing at the end of the game at the highest level. Where I'm not saying that personally. I think Scoot is deserving of being a top 2 pick in this draft because who's gonna go 3? Brandon Miller? No. Right.
3 in my mind. 3 through. Well, okay. We'll do a mock draft after the season is up, but we'll probably do a mock draft at the beginning of June. Okay. Like I'd probably do my own mock draft like at the beginning of June, but the thing is the thing, Dre. This is the thing. Like I understand what you're saying, and I think it's on point, right? But here's the thing I learned about NBA scouts. They have no idea what they're doing. And a lot of times they're deceptive because they have to keep the price of certain players down. Right?
And also they can't watch every single player and also have an accurate read on them. Because a lot of times they get passed.
Well, I mean, there's thousands and
then they get passed on
tape.
No, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is if you notice the teams that are at the top of the draft this year are historically at the top of the draft.
Oh, okay.
Think about who's the worst team? Who's the worst team in the league right now? Detroit.
I thought it was Houston.
Yeah, Detroit.
Detroit.
Detroit had the worst record this year.
Yeah, Detroit had the worst record. But think about this. As long as you've been watching basketball, right? As long as you've been watching basketball, how often have the Detroit Pistons been good? And I mean really good, not just 42 wins good.
Well, the whole
I've seen them with
2000s they
Isaiah.
were really good, but after
And then
that,
I was gonna say with Ben Wallace,
decade.
Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, they were good with that. Chauncey Billups,
They were good for a
then
whole
too.
decade, and then they were
Right.
not good
And
for
how
another
good were
decade.
they? How good were they in the 90s? Not good. Right.
Yeah,
and
but
then,
then they
and
came
then,
back with Wallace.
and then how good were they from 2010 forward?
So
good
basically, what
point.
you're saying is they're good in 10-year intervals, so they're going to be good from now till 2032.
No. What I'm
Because
saying
they were
is,
good in the 80s, then bad in the 90s, then good in the 2000s, then bad in the 2010s. So they're due. So they're going to be good for.
What I'm saying is every franchise occasionally gets lucky with a franchise player.
Facts.
But when that franchise player leaves through trade or gets old or whatever, after that they're terrible. Like for instance, the classic example of this is the Chicago Bulls.
Shaq.
Right. Look at the Chicago Bulls, right? Look at the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan and then with Derrick Rose. And then look at the Chicago Bulls without those two players in their 60-year history. Trash. Look at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Look at the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron, right? And because the Cleveland Cavaliers of the late 80s were really, really good, right? They're really good for like a 5-year window. Right.
They were solid.
Yeah. Brad Daugherty. Yeah, they were solid. Right. They were like how the Sixers are right now. Pretty good team, solid. Right. But outside of that, and outside of LeBron, what have the Cleveland Cavaliers been?
True.
Right. And then
you could even say that about Houston.
You know who else?
Cavs haven't won a playoff series since like '91 without LeBron.
Yeah.
That didn't have LeBron in it.
Right. But you know what though? I can also say that about the Knicks.
Yep.
Without Patrick Ewing, without Clyde Frazier, what have the Knicks been?
Nothing. That's why I keep saying it's we got to work on development. There's something we're missing here, guys. I'm not saying we can't do it, but we gotta rebuild. And I agree with you. We're missing something. But how are we not at the top of the draft?
But because we're halfway decent this year. My point is the teams that are in the lottery right now, they generally stay there, bro. The only team I see out of place is Portland. Right, Portland is the only team that I think they have a 500 record or better for the entire existence, and they generally don't exist in the lottery. But everybody else, the Washington Wizards, they stay in the lottery, bro. They stay Orlando. They stay in an OKC/Seattle. Here recently, they stay in the lottery, bro. They stay in that mid area. New Orleans, they stay there. Toronto, aside from
Kawhi Leonard,
five or six excellent seasons, Toronto is historically in the lottery. So when we talk about GMs and front offices and their expert opinion on players, there are more misses than there are hits when it comes to the lottery, bro. And it's not because of the players, because some players are great NBA players. They go to bad situations, and then next thing you know, you have an Obi Toppin situation. You have a Patrick Williams situation. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You have a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? The Clippers were good. You know what I'm saying? But do y'all remember the two dudes that got drafted by the Clippers back to back?
Nah.
They drafted Jerome, whatever his name is. He wound up being a bust, and they drafted SGA back to back right after Kevin Knox.
Oh. Mm.
So I'm not trying to diminish what Dre is saying because I understand
The
where he's coming
Clippers
from.
drafted that Jerome kid.
That's what I said. The Clippers.
But oh right. Okay, right.
Right. They drafted him back to back. SGA and Jerome, whatever his name is. He was
William.
trash.
I was gonna say Williams. That's a Nick.
Yeah, he was a Raptor. The Raptors drafted him in the first round. Junkyard dog. Yeah. But what I'm saying is what I'm getting at is ultimately like the teams at the top of this draft. I don't take what they say with a grain of salt. I won't even give them that much. You know what I'm saying? Even with Vic, I think Vic is going to be a good player, but I'm not getting ready to say this dude is getting ready to be 30 points and 17 rebounds and shoot 45% from three.
I totally agree. He is not a generational talent.
I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good, right? I think he's going to be, and then like with Scoot, I also think Scoot is going to be good, but I don't think he's going to be Oscar Robertson. You know what I'm saying?
I think Scoot he's a safer choice for a long career. I think Vic's ceiling outweighs Scoot.
Yeah, I think that's just what young people say, bro.
No
disrespect to young people, bro. No disrespect to young people.
I'm not, but you value my mind, so like some of the things I see him do on the court, it's not like one of those stiff things where you see KP do it. He is legit. He's like, remember when Giannis was drafted? He's like floating around, like similar to how Giannis did before Giannis put on all that weight.
Right.
But he's floating around at 6'3". Like he's a fluid 6'3". He's not a stiff 6.
You mean 7'3"?
7'3". Yeah, he's not a stiff 7'3". Because every time we see somebody drafted that big, they're not a fluid athlete.
KP was all right,
but not like this.
Not like that though.
No, not like this. Not floating around like this.
But Vic is not like a original. Let me put it that way. It's not like we hadn't seen this before.
Well, I mean, nobody is an original all the way, but for this era over the last 40 years, he's
except LeBron. LeBron is the only original that I've. So when I first laid eyes on him, I was like, I've never seen anybody like that in my
6'9" tank that can fly.
That was the fastest dude in the NBA, the most athletic, the most agile, and had a superior basketball IQ at 19. Or 18.
His feel was different.
Yes. LeBron,
usually the guys that had the feel were nothing like that physically.
Right.
They just had to have the feel because they just couldn't compensate. They had to compensate.
Right. Even LeBron James's diminished athleticism still, in my opinion, has him in the top 95 percentile of athletes, bro.
Still, even with the foot injury, he's still a freight train.
Yep. And so for that reason, and BT, this is the year. These type of years where you have like unicorn type players. Mm-hmm. These are the years that scoring machines come out in the draft. And if you're a savvy GM, you got to grab you a scoring, because this draft is I think it's got probably 4 scoring machines in it.
Okay.
Right. And I'm talking about 4. I'm talking about in 5 years, you can be like, dang, he averaging 32 a game on 50, 40, 90. You know what I'm saying? Even the year, because think about it. Even the year that SGA came out, and he's a scoring machine, right? But even the year he came out, bro, Michael Porter Jr., they would say, oh, there's never been a guy 6'10", 6'11" that can do all the things that he does.
You mean Durant? Yeah,
they would call him Durant.
I mean, he was before that back injury.
Before the
he
back
was a
injury.
monster.
But that's not the point that I'm getting at, though. The point I'm getting at is when people are looking over here at the freak athletes, there are scoring machines in those drafts.
Okay,
that's
what
I'm getting at.
Let's get some and rebuild around the Knicks to help us with our offense, and we good. I got faith, man. Look, we gonna get it.
I think the Thompson twin is gonna be that guy, bro. Dre, I think that
We got a
dude.
chance for him though, because I
Oh,
forgot. I think we're like 10th with the Mavericks pick. I forgot how that works.
I want to see him in when he gets to the summer league because a lot of the talent that he's playing in
Oh
that
boy.
league is not like
If
no.
If Vic was in that league, Vic's reputation would be diminished.
Nah, I won't say
But see,
that. But
that's another
Yo,
thing.
I'm not.
Metro, come on,
No,
That's
Dre.
another thing I wanted
Freezy.
to
Listen to
ask
me.
about
Listen
you
to me.
guys.
I'm not diminishing. I'm saying the things that pop out will pop out regardless. I just
Yeah,
want to see him against better talent. That's all.
right.
But what do you see that might pop out against better talent, or what do you
His
see that might pop
playmaking,
out?
playmaking,
Yeah, the
vision,
feel for the game.
his
Okay,
feel.
He don't need to have feel for the game right now because he's just bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic than everybody.
exactly.
Yeah,
You
so
just
he's
got to
just
learn the
blowing through
system.
them. That's what I
Yeah,
mean, Freezy. Like when I
yeah,
see him against better talent, and he has to like calculate and think the game, and I know he has the capability to. I think he's the one that you compared to Penny, right?
yeah. I think he's Penny, bro.
That's
Ooh. Wait, you think we can get a guy
this
like
is
that?
Freezy. This is the reason why Penny was traded in the beginning because you didn't know his feel against superior talent
Right.
until you get there.
Yeah. But Saw Thompson, bro. I think that
Oh,
dude's gonna be Kobe.
But wait, who you think we gonna get though? That's what I'm trying to ask. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know.
we're
We
not
can't
gonna be that
project.
high unless we
Yeah.
trade.
Now I know,
him.
but that's what I said. How does the draft pick system work out with the Mavs? Because I want to see where we're
If it
at.
drops to 11, we get it. Any
Yeah.
other scenario, we don't.
If
Okay.
it drops to 11, but here's the thing. Here's the thing with Tibbs at coach, with Tibbs as the coach, right? If Tibbs is still entrenched for the next 2 or 3 years, they're not going to get a Saw Thompson. But the Knicks, if the Knicks are smart, and this is something I mentioned on a show like 3 or so weeks ago, if the Knicks are smart, they reset their rookie scale contracts and get these contracts off the books that are weighing them down, right? Like the Fournier deal, all the dead weight come off from all those stupid deals. They like the dude from the Spurs finally come off. You remember the Spurs first round pick that we signed to the summer league deal?
Oh, that dude that got cut.
The 6'11" dude.
He's
We
on the
cut him.
Jazz now.
Yeah, we
Luka
cut him.
Samanic.
Yeah, we signed him to a 2-year deal, and we signed him last year, and then we cut him because he
Wasn't that much
trash.
money. Yeah, he's garbage.
And so once all that dead money come off, then but ultimately what I'm getting at is I think you need to reset some of these rookie scale deals and put pressure on Quickly and Grunt because the reason why Quickly had to get better is because Deuce and all these different players was like breathing down his neck. But these young players, the Grimes and all these dudes, in my opinion, they hadn't taken the next step because nobody is putting pressure on them. You feel me? Like there's no young guy that's threatening to push Quentin Grimes out the league right now on our roster.
No.
And when you do that, it's because RJ Barrett had to get better because of
Josh
Grimes.
Hart.
And
Josh
Josh,
Hart.
yeah. You just so the competition. You basically first round picks. You lock them in for 4 years at about $5 million, and so now you get a quality rotation player for like $5 million, as opposed to going out in free agency and signing a veteran that you know can do the job to like 3 years, $72 million. Basically, where we at with Fournier. Like Fournier's got like 2 years, $36 million left, or whatever it is. Right? We could have used that. We could have used that on the roster spot alone. We could have used it on something like Kendall Brown. Out of I think where did he come from? Baylor? Kendall Brown is from Baylor, right?
I believe so.
The Indiana Pacers two-way player.
I'd have to see.
We could have had Kendall Brown on a two-way deal or a back end roster. I'll give you another example. The Spanish point guard that we signed as an undrafted free agent last summer. John something. John something. Lee, you know who I'm talking about? The dude that should have been drafted, he wasn't.
Yeah. I know
And we
exactly what
signed
you're
him.
talking
And we
about.
signed him to Exhibit 10 contract to be in training camp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You only had a training camp. He played for us in the summer league. I know exactly
Yeah,
what
he
you're talking
played
about.
for us in summer league, right? But ultimately, what I'm getting at is you didn't keep him. You didn't keep him, right? You didn't keep him, but then you signed Dwayne Washington to that money, to a 2-year. Well, actually, a 1+1.
It's not. He's not guaranteed. They're just kind of.
Yeah, I know they. But ultimately, what I'm getting at though is are we going to develop Dwayne Washington? No, we ain't going to develop him. So why we paying him? Is he ever going to play?
He was just an emergency body in case
They could have.
something happened.
Yeah, they could have bought in one of those young guys, and I'm not second guessing the organization in that way. But what I'm saying is I would rather have competition up and down the roster. I would rather have competition up and down the roster where everybody feels like they have to be their best version.
Somebody
of
said his name, Luca Vildoza.
No, that's not him.
Yeah, it did.
That's not him. That's not the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's not. Yeah, that's not the one. Lee always do that. Lee be like, hold on.
Are you talking about the guy we drafted the same year as Deuce?
No, I'm talking about no. This summer, we signed him to an Exhibit 10 deal.
Oh, last summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it Gene Montero?
John Montero, that's him.
There we go. Yeah.
John Montero, that's him, Lee. That's him. Yeah, John Montero. We could have signed John Montero, and he was raw, right? But you could have signed him to a 2-way deal or the last roster spot, and just let him develop. Instead,
he played in that same league as the Thompson twins. Played in that league. Yeah.
See, we could have been developing him as bringing him along instead of Dwayne Washington, who is doing absolutely nothing for the Knicks.
I think ultimately they view Deuce higher than you might think, Freezie, which is why I think they view Deuce higher, which is why they didn't even bother with all that.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't dispute that. I think they value Deuce a lot, but they value him in 3 years. They don't value him today.
Right.
They value him what he can be in 3 years if they keep him in their system. But they don't value him today. And ironically, I think they value his leadership and his professionalism. Right. And he's got sneaky traits. He's got sneaky traits to it. Like he's got sneaky athleticism.
Deuce needs to watch everything that Kyle Lowry's doing and just steal it.
And just steal it, right?
And then
just download it into his
career.
memory banks. Yeah.
Then you have a 15-year career.
I think they're doing him like teams did Javon Carter, like Phoenix did Javon Carter.
Right.
Just bringing him along, playing him in random spurts, and then before you know it, he'll be a starter for somebody in the NBA. I don't think it's going to ever be the Knicks,
or just like the first PG off the bench for a team.
Yeah. And if you're the Knicks, bro, you're in a tough spot, bro. Because if you don't get this Dallas pick, you traded away your pick for
Josh Hart.
for Josh Hart.
Then you gotta re-sign him at least.
Hey, look, man.
Yeah,
we're going to re-sign him. I'm afraid of what the number's going to be.
I can't see a scenario where I could have taken that pick and Obi and something and got Cam Whitmore, but instead we got Josh Hart.
I mean, you would have, being honest, Freezie, we don't win a playoff round without him.
Facts.
You don't win that playoff round without him.
Well, what about so it's not the Josh Hart thing, it's the price.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like, could we have gotten them for 3 seconds, 4 seconds, or whatever?
Yes.
Well, what's his name?
You could have got Josh Richardson for 2 seconds.
Jay Crowder went for 5 seconds.
Yeah, and that's the worst. And for that reason, I think the Bucks are going to clear out their front office. That was the dumbest trade. That was the dumbest trade.
Their elimination game, I don't think he played.
Right. You see what I mean by how front offices make dumb, bro? They were trying to trade Grayson Allen, right? They're just trying to get him off the roster. And at the end of the season, he was the one saving them in clutch moments. They were going to him.
They needed him.
Yeah,
the guy that had the ball in his hands to decide their season was Grayson Allen.
It was Grayson Allen. For that reason, alone, bro, that's why when I look at our front office, I give them grace, and I'm super hard on other front offices, bro. Other front offices, I ain't giving them no credit for nothing. Right? I'm not giving them. Even the Lakers trading for Anthony Davis. What they paid for Anthony Davis is the most obscene. Nobody has ever been accosted in public like that since ever.
They got a ring and they got one of the top defense.
Yeah, I'm not lie to you, Freezie.
But they didn't get a ring. They didn't get a ring because Anthony Davis. They got a ring because of the players they put around Anthony Davis after the fact.
Well, to be fair, Freezie, Anthony Davis outplayed Jokic in that bubble.
He went
crazy on Jokic.
Oh, okay. He went crazy on Jokic, right? Right. But who was the dude that saved them in the finals against the Miami Heat? Rajon Rondo knocking down threes.
Yeah.
Knocking down threes. And you could and you got him.
But they don't even get to that round without AD hitting that game-winning 3 from the corner in the WCF against Jokic,
right?
And basically stopping Jokic because that was the only person.
What about Kentavious Caldwell Pope?
Yeah, he was good. But Freezie, come on.
Listen, you misconstruing what I'm saying. I'm not saying that AD didn't contribute. What I'm saying is the team that was built around AD and LeBron, stepped up majorly, and they were cheap. Don't forget about their 3-man rotation at center. They was grabbing dudes up. They just grabbed healthy bodies. They're like, oh, JaVale McGee, you still alive? Come on, you can start.
Dwight was giving them good minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Think about what they paid for AD, right? And then think about all the players that they put around them.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Freezie. Their GM is probably one of the best.
Yeah, and desperate. That dude moves in desperation, which I wish most GMs in the league did, in the NBA did. Most front offices in this league,
not everybody's moving. Not everybody's moving on a 38-year-old LeBron timeline. So.
Right. Not everybody is moving as if they had a legit 5-year contract either. They get the 5-year contract, and for instance,
they start chilling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like think about where Detroit is versus where they should be.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they called Killian Hayes' name,
oh my god,
I was like,
light skin Frank.
Yes, what are y'all doing? As soon as they said Killian Hayes, I was like, yeah, they got a 14-year contract, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude in Chicago. I forget his name, but he a sharp dude, right?
Acme. It's two guys.
Oh, okay.
Arturos something.
Yeah. Him. He's the one that I'm talking about. I don't know about the other dude. Yeah. Right. But the thing, even in Chicago, when they committed that much bread to Lonzo, I was like, what are they doing?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Freezie. Before that injury happened, they were a top 2 seed in the East.
Nah, I like Lonzo, bro, but that's
the fit was working. But
I'm not talking about the fit though.
Well, hold on, let me finish.
But Dre, you misunderstanding what I'm saying.
No, I'm understanding.
I'm not talking about it. You not, because you didn't hear me. What I'm saying is the dude established 2 separate timelines. How will you win now and then draft
That,
picks for the future at the same
that's what
time?
exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying they did that, and even if one part of that falls apart and the whole thing just breaks apart like that, then that means it was a terrible move.
It was a terrible
Like if
because
one role player decides your entire fate, then it was a bad move.
right. That's the thing I'm getting at. Because as soon as they called Kobe White, they were screwed. As soon as they said Kobe White, they were screwed, bro. So as soon as they said Kobe White in the RJ draft, it's over. Right? And I think he came after the dude he came after the Kobe White pick, right? What he came in what 2021? He was there for what 2 years?
Kobe White?
No, the front office. The front office.
Yeah.
So they got there in 21.
They came
right?
in right before that draft where Franz Wagner came in, and they gave up all those picks, and then Franz Wagner was drafted shortly after.
Yeah, 21. Yeah, the 21 draft, right?
With that Orlando pick.
That trade for Vucevic. That's what I'm saying. They did the Vucevic trade, bro, and they still paying. They still paying in the Vucevic trade. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these GMs, they have the only GM team president that I really respect outside of our front office is Sam Presti. Right?
Sam Presti moved militant.
Yeah. And he's got a plan. He's establishing a culture. He's telling you what he expects you to do. And even when they have even when they have 3 point guards on the roster and they draft a point guard in the top 10,
all the point guards do play differently.
Yeah, he like, this is what we expect from this player. You know what I'm saying? You're like, wow, okay. Because it looked crazy to me, but all right. Like for instance, when they traded for Ousmane Dieng, knowing they were gonna draft Jalen Williams, you like, what are y'all doing? Why would you even trade for him? But they have a plan. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like the Lakers deal, I think they paid. Man, look, when you hear all the names in the AD trade, just the names alone in the AD trade, you like, I think the Lakers paid too much.
But this is what happened. That they paid that tax because remember the NBA was running that team.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. For one, I think I take Lonzo out of that trade and add D'Angelo Russell to it, and keep the do-it-all point guard in LA with LeBron.
No Freezie. Remember they traded D'Lo as soon as they got Lonzo. D'Lo was
in Minnesota.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you're right.
Remember, Magic chose the point guard. Magic was like,
yeah, you're right.
I like Lonzo. So, D'Lo, peace. I'm gonna trade you up out of here for Brook Lopez.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
But what I would have done was I would have kept Brandon Ingram and sent Kuzma instead. Freezie. They would have kept Brandon Ingram.
Those two couldn't play together, bro.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Right.
Maybe at that time.
You remember the Phoenix game when them dudes was looking at each other like they wanted to kill each other?
Yeah,
I knew he was gone. Bro. As soon as he looked at LeBron, like, what the F you doing? He out of here. Yeah, I knew it, bro. And Rondo separated.
The reports at the time was Lakers wanted to keep him, but New Orleans was way higher on Brandon Ingram than Kuzma because Kuzma was way older and more of a finished product coming into the league.
Right.
And Ingram's ceiling, as you see now, what it is. Like, we all knew he had such a very a much higher ceiling.
And we didn't know at the time too that Kyle Kuzma was not 6'8". Kyle Kuzma was not 6'8" at the time. Right. So we thinking like, this dude is an undersized 4. He plays the 3. They try to get him to play the 4. I had no idea this dude was 6'10".
Like 6'9".
6'9". Whatever. Yeah. And Kyle Kuzma 6'9" and Brandon Ingram 6'9" are different.
Yeah, because
by the
Brandon
way.
Ingram 6'9" is with the gangly arms, and
Right.
it's a little bit different.
But
Definitely.
with that said, am I the only person that does not respect other franchises GMs? I know everybody has a
I'm
different
agreeing
take.
with you.
I'd have to look again for the votes. GM of the year, because I know Leon Rose finished like third.
Really?
No, seventh, not third.
7th?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't
NBA
know.
Executive of the Year.
I don't know if, bro. I don't know, bro.
That's what I mean. That's narrative, Freezy.
Yeah, and like when you look at Boston, like what has Boston done right in the draft ever? Like outside of Tatum and Brown,
Because I was gonna say them too, but those were products of trades.
outside of Tatum and Brown,
Marcus Smart.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not. Marcus Smart went the pick in front of Randall, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, when you draft a combo guard that high, you expect. Yeah. Nah, even though I like Marcus Smart as a player, I'm just saying, where you draft, basically in a nutshell, this is how it works. Anybody in the top 7 or 8 in the draft, you expect them to be a high level scoring machine type player, unless they are Mutombo and you are okay with getting defense only. You know you're getting defense only.
And that type of player is never getting drafted again.
Right.
Not that high.
Yep. So that's what I'm saying. So when you draft Marcus Smart 6th and you're getting like 14 points a game, you're like, I could probably get that.
We thought Marcus Smart was going to be higher.
Yeah.
Or more developed offensively.
Yeah.
Because he actually had point guard skills and he just fell back on them.
Yeah, his shooting, nobody respected his, because he wasn't a scorer. So nobody respected his college point guard skills, because at the NBA, when you can't shoot, nobody respects the rest of your game. What are you gonna do? Pass me to death? No, ain't nobody respecting that.
Lonzo got drafted that high because
yeah, but Lonzo's 40% from 3, right?
He wasn't in college.
Nah, he wasn't.
I remember he had to change his whole shot completely.
Yeah.
Like Magic drafted him because he was pass first and reminded him of himself. A big point guard that can pass first. That's
I could see
the
that.
sole reason why Magic drafted.
If they had a redraft right there, do you think Lonzo goes 2 over Jason Tatum? Right.
Hell no.
Right.
Oh no.
Matter of fact, Jason Tatum goes 1. So.
Right. Jason Tatum goes 1.
They wouldn't even have a chance at Jason Tatum.
Right. Yeah. And to be honest with you, why they didn't take Jason Tatum boggles my mind. And they were never taking Jason Tatum, by the way. They tipped their hand early. This is the reason why Magic is gone. They tipped their hand too early. It's the reason why the Sixers and the Celtics were able to pull off the trade.
Lonzo.
Yeah, because the Lakers were locked in on Lonzo.
Because he's the LA kid, played at UCLA, big 6'7" pass first point guard. Magic couldn't resist.
I was with him, bro. I was like, please. I was begging the Knicks to trade up. I was begging because there were a lot of point guards that can't. The funny thing about that draft, and it'll tell you how wrong people will be. I wanted either Josh Jackson, Dennis Smith Jr., or Dennis Smith Jr. Bro, this it tell you how much the hype train and these drafts work.
NBA draft is a crapshoot.
Yeah, man, I wanted Josh Jackson so bad for the Knicks, bro. I was like, we need a 6'8" athlete with that dog in him.
Can't account for mental issues.
Yeah, you can't count for it. Yeah. Yeah, and quite frankly, that's the best point guard draft in a long time. De'Aaron Fox was in that draft.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
De'Aaron Fox used to bust Lonzo ass every time he see him.
Yep.
Purposely,
Lonzo
just
was
because of that.
Every time. And when I was thinking about it, I was like, yo, the Knicks need to trade up right here because Cass was saying De'Aaron Fox at the time. I didn't really trust Kentucky point guards because they never had a good reputation for point guard. Right?
You should have trusted it just because it was a Calipari point guard.
Nah, I can't trust Calipari point guards, bro.
Nah.
I saw him run the Harrison twins over Devin Booker.
Oh God!
I saw him play the Harrison twins over Devin Booker, and this is the reason. And I tell this story a lot. I saw him start Ashton Higgins over Emmanuel Quickly when everybody knew Quickly was the better player.
Quickly underperformed his first year.
Quickly was he was hurt his first. Yeah, he was Quickly had a lot of stuff going on that first year, and Kentucky had a lot of stuff going on that first year too. It's the reason why he came out so late. Like you, John Calipari legit ran Ashton Higgins at point guard over Tyrese Maxey over Emmanuel Quickly, and Quickly was so good in the SEC that year against everybody that he was a late season addition to the Player of the Year ballot and still won it. That's how good Quickly was not on the. You know how the fans and everybody see the list of the preseason SEC Player of the Year list. Quickly wasn't even on it. Right? I think they added Quickly to the list like in December. He was coming off the bench busting so bad that they had to add him to it. So, but yeah, that's the reason why. That's the reason why I was like, De'Aaron Fox, no, thank you. No, I'm good. The only point guard that I ever trusted at Kentucky was John Wall, and it was because
you couldn't miss him.
Yeah, and the reason why I was saying that is because if Duke and Kentucky recruit the same player in the backcourt, he's gonna be a star, right? Because what happens is usually Kentucky gets the big man and Duke gets the wing player, right? So
that Kentucky bag was real big back then.
Allegedly, it's deep. That Kentucky bag was armpit deep, bro.
That's how far it could get. Because he was in the backyard for NC schools. He was in the backyard.
John Wall was about to verbally commit to the University of North Carolina. John Wall is from North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
He was.
That's why I said he was in the backyard.
Yes, he was about to commit to North Carolina, and he changed his mind on the afternoon of his commitment.
Kentucky probably added another zero.
Yeah.
To whatever check.
Yo.
They added another zero to whatever he was over again.
The top two schools on his list were North Carolina and Duke was the dark horse. And he makes his commitment. I'm committing to the University of Kentucky. And everybody was like, oh, they got to him. That wire transfer went through.
That's why they think Calipari's a slime ball.
Yeah, man.
But this is kind of why Calipari's falling off because everybody stepped their bag up after
everybody. And now that there's NIL money.
Oh, it's hard now.
Yeah, what's Kentucky recruiting pitch now? They can't just hit you with the invisible bag like the wire transfer from Croatia. Yeah. They can't hit you with that now.
Wesley saw it coming. That's why he dipped out to the NBA.
Yeah, man.
Wesley saw it coming.
Yeah, man. So, but BT, to the point that you were making about the draft pick, bro. Mm-hmm. It all depends on what happens next Thursday night.
Yeah.
Next Thursday night, if the Knicks get the number 11 pick, it's gonna be.
I was gonna ask you, like, can we all just like jump on and like say who we think we should get after the selection gets set up? Like kind of like you said, you want to do a mock draft, but can we like see what we think we should do too?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a show and all of that stuff on that night, right?
Yeah.
So it'll probably be like a 3-hour show, a 4-hour show, and all of
Okay.
that stuff, man. It depends on where the Knicks are. If the Knicks are still in the playoffs, like if the Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals, it'll probably be like an hour show, right?
Okay.
But if our season is over, we'll probably right during the summer, when in the off season, the shows are generally a lot longer because we have a lot more stuff to talk about.
Okay.
You don't get like a 2.5 hour show here and maybe a 2.5 hour show there. Generally in the mornings, the KMD will rock from like 10 a.m. to like 2. One time Ron Cleveland was on, bro. We rocked to like 4 o'clock, from 10 to like 4 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? and then at night we generally start at 11 on the dot and rock to like 3-ish, something like that. Because it's a lot more stuff for us to talk about. We generally go over how it works, bro. How it works is generally like somebody will say something to piss Dre off, and then Dre will go off for a few minutes, and then somebody will come in and they will disagree with Dre's stance. I don't care. I don't care about analytics. I go by the eye test, and then we be on for like another 90 minutes or something like. You know what I'm saying?
Full blown argument.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. So I feel right at home. It feels like Knicks fans just arguing their point. I got you. Right in New York.
So so it is what it is during the season. During the season, in fairness to the season,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, we just focus on the games and all that stuff, and then when the off season get here, I get on and just turn the mics on, and we just rock. So we'll see how things happen tonight. Hopefully tonight the Knicks will pull out another dub, and then we'll see where things go Friday night.
Can I say one thing about this Victor Wembanyama? I'm telling you right now, he slick reminds me of Ralph Sampson.
Who?
Ralph Sampson with a jump shot.
Yeah, I don't think he has a jump shot.
He's not in the region. That's why he said he's not an original.
I think the Knicks are gonna win by at least 3 points tonight. It's gonna be a close game.
The kid has a jumper. He just has terrible shot selection.
He
takes bad shot. He takes bad shots like off the dribble threes. Just
I know. I see. I watch him, bro. I don't watch this stuff live. I watch what I can on YouTube.
But I'm not like I'm
seeing
impressed
games in totality, like him just playing. He has an underrated feel for the game. Like he doesn't like he has like little touch passes that he pulls out here and there, like in the mid post.
Like Ralph Sampson.
Yeah, like he has like the dexterity. He's not like clumsy.
Yeah, like Ralph Sampson, bro. Ralph Sampson was that guy. Ralph Sampson was
like a
supersized
small forward.
Ralph Sampson was a shooting guard and a 7'4" body, bro. Like this dude, legit, all the run jump stuff that you saw shooting guards do in the NBA at that time, Ralph Sampson was doing it at 7'4". Like there was he got a rebound from Akeem Olajuwon, right? And a guard tried to rip him. He went around his waist and through his legs and caught the ball with the same hand. And when I woke up 2 weeks later, because I ain't gonna lie, I fainted. Right. So when I woke up 2 weeks later, bro, I was like, yo, did you just see? Because not only did we never see that move from a guard, but to see a 7'4" dude do it. Bro, and then Ralph said they say Ralph Sampson had a 50-inch vertical.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. 50-inch vertical is crazy, bro.
That's something hard to do when you're 6'3".
Yes.
So,
but people have done it though. I mean, they say Michael Jordan had a 48-inch vertical, right?
Which I wouldn't doubt. I'm saying it's hard to do.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan is arguably the most athletic player ever.
yeah, Michael Jordan is.
Arguably. Right.
Yeah, Michael Jordan is probably the top 30 all time athlete in the NBA, bro. Maybe top 40. Because I saw, man, Lee, no lie, I saw a tape of Elgin Baylor jumping in the air, and when he jumped in the air, he legit itemized his taxes while he was in the air, and told this lady, he called out the crowd. He was still in the air. He called out the crowd, and she did his hair while he was in the air. And the only reason why he got out the air, only reason why he came down was because everybody else was on the bus. I'm telling you, dudes back then could flat out jump, bro. Like the original Skywalker, David Thompson.
Yeah.
Outlawed the dunk in college.
Yes.
They outlawed the dunk because David Thompson legit scored 20 points a game on alley-oops. Just throw it up there. He'll just go get it and dunk it. They outlawed it. They was like, no, this ain't legal. Human being ain't supposed to be doing that.
that and the fact that Kareem too now.
Yeah.
And Kareem.
Yeah. Bro, legit, no doubt. You know who, BT, you know who won the first ever professional league dunk contest?
No.
People think it's Dr. J, right? It was David Thompson.
Nah, it wasn't.
It was David Thompson. Now, Dr. J did the dunk from the free throw line.
Free throw line, yeah.
But
and
David
did the claw reverse.
Yeah, but David Thompson jumped in the air and did it, and this is before people knew what a 360 was, right? Mm-hmm. David Thompson jumped in the air, couldn't decide what he wanted to do, so he just went around in a circle and dunked. Right? And people was like, yo, did you just see that? This dude jumped in the air and then turned around and then dunked. Because what happens is when we see 360s now, dudes start their 360 on the ground.
Out the bottom, yeah. They don't do it in mid-flight. I know.
They don't. Yeah.
I had a guy who I played basketball with. He did that. He would jump straight up, and you'd be like, "Oh, he's just gonna dunk it." No, then he'll 360 and then dunk it. You'd be like, "Wait, did he just like the movement to go straight up and then spin mid-flight to finish?" Yeah, I know what you mean. That's the real ballers.
Right. Like when you saw Vince Carter jump up and do the reverse 360, you're like, what? Did you just see that?
I saw him do that in North Carolina. When I saw him come down and he did the 360 windmill, I was like, wait a minute. What? And then ever since then, like, I just stayed from that moment. Every time I watched him and just been like, this guy's going to do something different.
Vince Carter he missed a dunk against UCLA that would have got a 50 in a dunk contest off a missed dunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. You remember Toby Bailey, the shooting guard, number 12 for UCLA? Yeah. When they had what's the small point guard they had? They had two small point guards back to back. Tyus Edney.
It was Edney.
Yeah, man, Tyus Edney threw a cross court pass, bro, and I think Shammond Williams picks it off, right? And Shammond Williams, right at half court, lets the ball go. It hits off the top corner of the backboard. Listen, nowadays, people will never throw lobs like that, right? Lobs not like right now. You got to be, they more common, but they simpler now. But man, back then, people would try to throw it in the parking lot. They'd be like, go get it.
Mm-hmm.
You bad.
Like
go get
Joey
it.
Hammond. You better go out there and grab it like Joey Hammond.
Bro, he threw it off and Vince Carter caught the rebound like right inside the free throw line, and Toby Bailey was tugging his jersey like this, like, no, you ain't about to embarrass me. And Vince Carter barely missed the dunk. He took off from inside the free throw line. Toby Bailey had his jersey about to tear it off. It's back when everybody used to wear the FUBU jerseys. Remember the thick show, like the old Toronto Raptors jerseys?
Yeah.
Bro, he tried to tear that man's jersey off. That's the only reason why Vince Carter didn't catch a lob. And they say it was off the shot clock, but it wasn't. It was actually off the top of the backboard. Off the top of the backboard from inside the free throw line. He was about to dunk it with two hands off 1 foot. That's why when people say who the greatest dunker is in the University of North Carolina history, I'm gonna say Jordan is top 3. But man, Jerry Stackhouse dunk on Duke.
Yeah.
When he cocked it back and dunked on Cherokee Parks, you like.
That's the name you ain't heard forever.
I would have slapped Jerry Stackhouse across his. Don't you never try to embarrass me like that.
Too late.
Yeah,
too late, bro. You got to get it before that. Like you got to do like what was it? The Pistons used to say hacker foul, like hacker shack type stuff. Like hit him, like nah, you going down. Not today, but later. We could do that off camera, not now.
Bro, he tried. He snatched. Now Rasheed Wallace dunked on Eric Meeks, right? Eric Meek grabbed a rebound and lost it, right? Rasheed got the ball and he looked Eric Meek dead in his pupils. He was like, "What?" And he went straight at Eric Meek and yammed it on Eric Meek with one hand.
I seen Tracy McGrady do that.
And he screamed to the top of his lungs. He was like, "Ah!" If that was me, if I was Eric Meek, I'd have just took my uniform off right there and just walked back to the locker room in my underwear, bro. Cause what else can you do? Your career's over.
Can I say something about that? Getting that back? Cause real quick story. I used to play pickup ball at Hackensack in Jersey, and there's a guy, I can't remember his first name, but it was Cook. He was drafted in 01, straight out of high school. We were playing basketball. All my friends are better than me in ball. I wasn't the best, and trust me, I still am not good. But long story short, the best player was
Omar Cook.
Yeah, they were like, yo, from Brooklyn. Yeah, they were like, yo, you got Omar Cook. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Excuse my language. I was like, you kidding me? The dude's chest is in my face. Like, what are you talking about? But my dude was the same height as him. So I told him, I was like, yo, you DM. My boy goes, nah. If I DM, he's not making it to the draft. So I said, all right, cool. First time, check this out. This is how we do it. So the first time he gets the ball, blows right by. I'm telling you, I blink. We're at the 3-point line. I blink. He's already under the basket going up for a dunk. So I go, okay, cool. This dude is quick. But my guy is the same speed. Like I said, they were both on the same level, but my guy didn't get the shining. So second time he comes up, he gets by me, but I happen to like underhook my hand and I knock the ball out of his hand. He calls foul. I go, what? I get mad. Third time he gets by me again, I held the ball, like he went up, but I jumped before he did because he had a fast break. He's like, I'm in front of him. He's coming down on a fast break. I jumped before him. I put all my weight, everything I could into pulling the ball down. The ball did not go down to like the last second before it hit the rim. And it just said beep, and I grabbed the ball. I was like, I finally got my block. He goes, foul. I go, what? Yo, I think no, I'm not done. This is where he embarrassed me. This is where he embarrassed me. Because I thought I got it. I'm like, yeah, I stopped you twice. You know, you can't dunk on me no more. Don't disrespect me. Right. Dude, the next 12 shots, they gave him the ball 12 straight shots. He scored 14 points on me in a 21 pickup game. 12 shots, all bottom of the net. Good. In my face, from the logo, anywhere he got the ball, he dribbled and made sure I came to him and looked in the eye. I didn't care. I still looked at him. I was like, you ain't dunked the rest of the game, though.
that dude was good, bro.
That dude was I ain't gonna front though. 12 J's in my eyes. I was like, he had me quiet the whole time. But after the game, I was like, yo, you ain't done.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes it be like that. You take an L, but hey, I stopped him from dunking on me twice, but the dude was just nasty. There's nothing I could do. He was that physically dominant. But
that's them Queens point guards be good, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The dudes, you know. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, bro. So I can bounce back. So I can bounce back and do some stuff, man, and get ready.
You guys have a good morning, man. Thank you for having me on and listening to my story.
No doubt, man. And hopefully tomorrow night, man, we'll be still rocking and rolling, talking about what we're gonna do in Miami Friday night.
Let's keep our faith. Go New York, go New York, go.
All right, y'all.
Peace. All right, peace.